Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Live Reality Game Podcast. My name is Emily Pitch, joined with Luke and Erin, and today we are giving you more the Mole, Ohio 2025 content. Today we have the one, the only, the winner, Steven Stewart. Steven, how are you today? Are you ready to get talked about, interrogated, and shit-talked for the next couple hours?
I am so excited.
He's been waiting all season for this.
Game show host in my blood, okay?
And remember, everybody, when Steven gets eliminated, if he will be interviewed by somebody else.
We found the somebody else here.
Hello, we are the somebody else.
Alrighty, well, today we have myself, Emily Pitch, the Mole.
Oh, and you have Luke, not the mole, not the winner, but pretty damn close to both.
And I'm Erin. I'm not the mole, not the winner, not the first one out, but pretty close.
Oh, Erin.
You are the person I most thought was the mole besides Emily.
I know. We'll get there. We'll get there, Steven. Don't worry.
And of course, we have the winner of the Mole, Ohio, Steven Stewart. Steven, how are you? Thank you so much for joining our podcast today.
It's such a treat to be on the opposite side of things. I mean, I'm going to do it. The only other time I've been interviewed was for a survival challenge, of which I ranted 2 hours about how mad I was about how I played. So this will be a very welcome break compared to that interview.
Well, Steven, before we get started, tell me, are you a super fan of the Mole? Are you how did you find out about the Mole, Ohio? Just tell us a little bit about your Mole history.
I would not consider myself a super fan by any means. I mean, if doing a live game makes you a super fan, sure, call me a super fan. But I've only seen 2 or 3 of the US seasons pre-Netflix. I've seen the 2 Netflix seasons. So I've watched 5 Mole seasons. And then, I applied for Victory House the Mole in 2021. Because I knew some people were on it. I'm like, I remember watching the TV show. This could be fun. This could be different. People can't vote me out. And I apply, and I ended up being the mole in that game. And so I played the mole, and I am the mole. And it was a hard experience. I mean, and Emily can attest to. I think being the mole is surprisingly difficult and challenging in ways maybe you don't anticipate. It felt for me a little bit more isolating than I anticipated.
So knowing that about the mole ahead of time and being the mole, how did that affect your strategy going into this game?
That's a great question, Luke. I love it.
I tried to think about how people. I tried to put having been the mole. I was like, all right, what would I then do in trying to suss the mole, knowing how I played? And I think we've had this conversation, Luke, where we both read a situation said the mole would do different things, right? And that has a very different implications. So, clearly saying, well, how would I play the mole? And Emily is her own person, did not play how I played the mole, but still. I thought it was helpful to kind of coming in to kind of think about, what actions the mole was doing and what would I do as the mole given my experience in that. In terms of plans,
It's either he's thinking really
frozen.
Well, I knew I wanted to bring things.
Oh my God, you're thinking so still.
So, Steven, to catch you up, you froze.
You froze, yeah, but we
right
thought
at that
thinking.
question in a very pondering face.
You were
so we weren't sure if you were thinking.
Would you mind repeating everything that you just said?
Could you repeat that for the class?
Yeah, so I wanted to bring a sabotage into the game, right? And I wanted to first get Tim's blessing with whatever I did. And my idea was in my last game, I brought these hidden notes I folded these origami shapes into the game, and then they kind of throw people off into what's going on. So it's let's do something similar, but let's do postcards. Let's do Ohio postcards. And I think none of us knew what Tim's aesthetic was in the game, but it was I'll get the lamination paper. I'll find pictures of what I hope to be Wilmington, Ohio, and sometimes maybe a little bit off when I Google Wilmington, Ohio. A little bit of
Dayton in there, yeah.
Which was even funnier considering you found the dates in one too.
I know.
That was pretty great.
Tell me about it.
Well,
I
was finding all right, what are some light cryptography I can do that maybe will give some people a challenge to break it, unless your name is Luke or Erin, you can break it immediately. And so I was let's kind of put a whole package deal to distract people and make them not think about what they should, who the mole truly is.
So
And
other than postcards, what other conniving plots did you think about before the game?
When I played my last game, I had kind of a ride or die coalition, which is weird as the mole, but like the person I worked with got all the way to the end. And so I was kind of thinking I'd do the same, but I was kind of also knowing like, hey, being like standoffish, lone wolfish, kind of giving people whiplash of how you behave before the game begins and the game begins could be something I want to do. I don't think I really did that, but I do think I kind of did cause people to suspect me because I wasn't as maybe integrated as others were in the house potentially. So those were kind of the things in the game. And then like in terms of test taking, spread, and don't go in until late in the game.
Yep, and you did, and luckily for you, you went in on the right person. Well, that brings me to a question for you, Steven. Did you want to be the mole when you applied?
Of course.
You wanted to be the mole. Would you have played it differently than what you've done in your original mole game that you have played?
I think I would have felt like I had to, because like the season I played, it's on YouTube. I don't know if people were going to recognize me or have seen that season, but people had seen me play the mole before, and here I was again. I was like, all right, I need to play or do something differently. And so I played a very self-interested player the first time through. If I was the mole again, I think I would have pulled more of a Josh. I think I would have just been like really out there and kind of people just like discount me because like, what is he doing? He's just doing so much nonsense. I think I would have tried to pitch it more like how Josh played.
You would Emily pitch it?
I would Emily pitch it. You're correct.
Yeah, you would talk about what you crashed your car into a couple times. Yeah.
So, Steven, you get there to Wilmington. I don't remember if you're one of the early arrivals or the late arrivals, but I know I have my notes here somewhere that says that. We see the people arriving. What are you thinking of the cast?
Did you recognize anybody?
I knew Lachey. I had interviewed her 2 weeks prior for a Real Foot podcast. So I talked to her. I talked to her for an hour.
Neither of you know that you would be there?
No, not at all.
Okay, nice.
And that's it. Now, everyone else was brand new to me. I mean, I think, Erin, like I vaguely like recognized you on the road when I learned that you wrote that paper on Survivor. I was like, oh, I've kind of seen that paper thrown around. So that's how I kind of recognized you. Erin, I knew of because he played Real Foot.
Right.
I'd never spoken with him before, so not really any strong connection at all in the cast, which was exciting.
And so, go ahead, Emily.
Oh no, you can go.
No, I just want to know then. So, wine is being thrust into your hand. You people are coming up and saying names. What were your first impressions of the cast?
Okay, I mean, I got there early enough that I did not have a glass of wine put in my hands. So, like, I missed the wine.
You got there before Noah, then?
Noah was the third person there. It was me and Josh got there first, and then Noah was
wait, you and Josh were there, just the two of you?
Me and Josh met up at the airport, and we had a 45 car ride with Tim's mom, and then Tim's mom was just asking us questions, and I just look at Josh and like,
because Steven, you were there before I was.
Getting better.
And the thing is, I knew he was going to be there. I knew he was going to be the person at the airport. I still had to act like I didn't know that he was at the airport. So coming down the escalator, I'm like, oh my God, it's Josh. But yes, I was stuck with Josh for a while.
Yeah, so because I got there like 2 or 3 o'clock, I think. So I think I was still on the earlier side.
Yeah, we didn't crack open the wine until after about the two. I think the Sus Squad scene that was filmed was actually pre-wine. Yeah. If that helps everybody.
I forget what time Danny and I got there, but you were all there when we got there.
Yeah, because you and Danny enter and the wine is hand in your hand.
Oh yeah, and it was, and I was like, if it was the traders, I'd have been like, no.
So Steven, just like, I took my notes, of course, but you were actually upstairs with us on that top sauna of a bedroom while the coalition of the Sus Squad was being made. I forgot entirely who was upstairs with us. It was me, you, Noah, and somebody else, Brienne. And we made a joke, and it wasn't a coalition. We were like, guys, let's just say we had an orgy. I don't know who said that. It was not me. It was not me who said that. But while you guys were being strategic and making coalitions. We were joking about an orgy.
Now, Steven, when I was watching the Sus Squad scene, like I knew Josh and Erin were working really close together, but Luke, I didn't know Luke was part of that. What did you think? What did you think of that, Steven?
I feel like you just took the words straight from my mouth, Luke. I don't know what to say.
I mean, okay,
Watch
I
your
didn't
interview,
even know the
Steven.
Sus Squad was a thing until I watched the show back. I'm like, was I even in the same house as these people?
Oh, okay. Like I saw Erin and I mean Luke's known this to be a million times. I saw Erin and Josh like kind of at the hip, especially that night when we're like Josh is sitting right by Erin writing stuff down and Erin's writing down. So like I kind of saw that, but I didn't know the extent of what potentially had been pitched.
I mean, they shared a notebook, for God's sake.
Yeah, they really did.
I felt so bad when I realized it was Josh who had lost his notebook. And so at one point, like, we're at the table, like, hey, Josh, do you want to sit by me and copy notes with me? And he's like, I'm good. And he sits by Erin. I'm like, all right, problem solved. I tried.
Wait, and Brienne did not know about the Sus Squad either. That makes me feel so much better because I feel like Noah 100% knew about it. Okay, but Brienne at least didn't. So I feel better that I was not the only, like, totally out of touch person. Because it happened before I got there, but I was like, this seems like a big deal, and I know nothing about it.
Well, I don't think I knew of the name of the coalition until postseason.
Well, again, watch Luke's interview on his thoughts on the
Oh,
Sus
I watched
Squad,
all of it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, all 2 hours of it.
Don't you worry. 2.5 hours. I got you.
This is Steven's interview.
Oh, it's a party.
Yeah. So, Steven, we get to our first challenge. We find out we are separated by the mole into different groups. Any thoughts on that? Or is it just run of the mill? What did you think?
I'm impressed when watching the episode, the people who like really did put some thought into like how Mole or Emily in this case crafted those groups. I really didn't put much thought into it. I was like, whatever. I was just like, I mean, because like I'm in a group with Erin and Brienne, and I didn't really see the commonalities in us. Now, Erin and I both professors.
Are you joking?
Oh, I mean, like, and at that moment of time, like I didn't quite see it. Like, you know, post game, like
the light bulb go off when the matchmaking thing happened, and Brienne was like, basically, he's describing Brienne, and you and I probably both thought it was us.
True. And so like I don't know, I'm in this group. I'm just like, hey, you know, this is a chance to like I'm sharing it with Brienne. I mean, I had a conversation with Erin pregame, like, well, let's see what happens, and the answer was cause chaos.
Yeah.
Did you have?
Steven, I have a question for you, real quick. Prior to this game, have you ever used a walkie-talkie before?
Years of going skiing with family and using walkie-talkies. Yes, I had used walkie-talkies before, but apparently I'm really bad about giving directions when someone across from me is holding it and it's upside down. Because I kept telling you, Erin, that you used the wrong button. And I was like,
yeah, I was like, there's no button there. Yep.
Are you aware that the viewers were very sus of you because, as a podcaster, you do not know how to use a walkie-talkie, sir?
Well, you know, okay, so
Erin, what podcaster uses a walkie-talkie?
Apparently, the viewers
like
thought
the
that,
1980s using a CB radio.
All right, so Erin, back me up here. We get to the car. And
no, don't back.
I think of all the
I want to hear.
Yeah,
I
wait,
want to hear.
Luke go.
I want to hear Steven. Did you have intent to sabotage this challenge, or did it just naturally happen, or do you, when you were looking back on this, you're like, I didn't sabotage. What are they talking about?
When I believe, Erin, you're the one who pitches the plan. Like, hey, we should two-step verify, people say. And I kind of realized, like, I think it's gonna, and like I quickly realized, like, oh, this is gonna cause so much chaos. I'm like, you know, I'll just roll with it because like this isn't bad at all. Here's a comment from Brianna. I thought Steve was the mole and Erin and I were making it easier to go along with our cross for shenanigans. I think that's kind of true. Like when you all like kind of pitched that, and I was like, sure, I like this. Yeah,
I mean, you all went along with it. I was like, let's check and make sure everybody's telling us the truth, because then we could try to like vet. It was an honest approach in a game where people lie. So I
liked it, but I think the problem was we got our radio so late.
Yes, we went to John was like, let's just go in my car. Wait here, and then he hit it, and so it took a while to get things going for us. So we really didn't.
When I found out that y'all's radios were like hidden, I was shocked because I opened Rachel's door, and our radio and our envelope were just sitting right nicely on top of that seat. And I was like, wow, it's taking everybody so long to get on these fucking walkies. Maybe there's 3 moles in this game. I don't know.
Well,
then I find out that yours were hidden, and I'm like, oh, this is
I don't
wonderful.
know if John intended to hide it or if that was just how it fell in the glove compartment, but I was like, what are we doing in the car? Where are we going?
Well, I think the best part was like I had searched the glove department and didn't see it, and so he had to prompt me to go find it again.
So
Mold
being that
behavior.
We have the man himself.
Hello, welcome to the Live Reality Game podcast. We are talking about the Mole Ohio
Fresh off his
2025.
most recent role as a trader.
Right.
Tim, now that Tim, before the mole, oh wait, wrong person I'm interviewing. My bad. So, Steven, in that first challenge though, since it was the first challenge, did you have any suspects right away, or were you just kind of keeping it even? What did you think?
Wait, who are you
Is he
asking?
frozen or frozen?
He's frozen.
You know,
No,
I
Tim's
really-
not frozen.
I'm back.
Oh,
No, we're talking
Steven is
Steven.
frozen. Okay, sorry.
This is Steven's interview, Erin. If you read the
The campus
description, it
Wi-Fi.
says Steven deep
I
dive.
thought you were asking Tim a question. I'm sorry.
No, ask away,
Luke,
and then I'll
I
answer
thought we
this
love
question.
each other again. Come on.
Steven, were you sus of anybody after the first challenge?
No, I didn't put much weight on the challenge initially because of like I didn't see other groups. It was hard to know who was controlling the radio. I knew Luke's group did great, but I don't know if it was like because everyone actually did great or like the mole was just under such watch they couldn't do anything. I mean, later on, I start weighting Erin you very heavily in this challenge, but that's not initially no. I was just like, whatever. We did well.
Ready. Well, Steven, after that first challenge, we head into our next one where we have to divide ourselves up into groups after we get our dossiers for a hot second and a couple gifts. Let's actually talk about the gifts for a second. We are handed our dossiers, our notebooks, and these odd little tubes. Any thoughts on any of those items handed to you?
I love how it freezes.
Oh my God,
while it's
Steven,
like
go
in the
home where you have good internet.
Yeah, I don't know why the internet the school sucks.
Quit wasting precious time, Steven, before you freeze again.
Did you hear
Right.
his question?
Yeah, I heard the question. What were my thoughts about the fun things Tim had? Dossier is massive. I was a little horrified. I was seeing the size of these and like saying like, oh shoot, all the information he asked us, he is giving back to us. I did not anticipate that happening.
Especially knowing that they're getting taken away from us the next day.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, not gonna sleep and get this written down. The tubes, you know, I didn't think they were gonna be anything good, and I didn't feel a rush to open them up to be something bad. And with Josh kind of been like, I'm opening. I'm like, all right, I don't need to join in on this party.
I think I looked at Josh and I was like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, there's exuberance. It's like, you know, if something's good, like, hey, let's open it B first, and like, if I lose $5, I lose $5. So tube, dossier, and then what was the third thing?
Notebook.
Notebook. You know, I got my favorite color. So like,
Oh my God, you still have it.
yeah, no complaints. I mean, Tim probably has a graveyard of players' notebooks he's collected over time, stashed
I
somewhere.
took
I'm
mine
sure.
home, but
That's why that was an advantage later. He's like, I'm going to get rid of all of these in one little swoop.
I think I took mine home after that. But maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
Is there gonna be a
after-
Ghost Island?
Is there
Mole
going to
Island,
be a Ghost Island? Oh, well. See, I'm usually pretty averse to, you know, the sort of like coming back into the game after having been.
I was thinking more if you collect all the relics and artifacts from prior seasons.
collect the relics.
and have them incorporate somehow.
That would be fun.
This is Luke's lost tube.
That sounds
This
so
is the
bad.
mole puppet.
This is the mole puppet. You gotta bring back the mole
This is
puppet.
Joe's
That
mom.
actually could be there could be a way to make that work. I think.
So, Tim,
Joe's leg.
Anybody can do it, Tim. You can.
all right,
I'll try.
Tim. So we have the first 2 challenges and Tube Gate. Is everything going the way that you envisioned it? Or were you worried that Emily was too out there? Like, what was your thoughts as a producer at this time?
So I was surprised that fewer people I thought more people would open or try to open the tubes. I guess part of it was that it was harder to open them than I had anticipated.
I mean,
I
did
think that
anybody
they
go
were
private and just not tell anybody?
well. I
It's some kind of
initially
seal
had
that would break.
planned on because I had planned on having like photosensitive like paper or something in it that would reveal when it had been exposed to light. But I couldn't find any that was like would develop fast enough. So
Diabolical. I love
yeah.
it.
So my next thought was that I was
confetti in it where it just explodes.
Yeah,
that
you
could have
should
been
do
another
one of those,
option.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The other option that I had, the other thought that I had was maybe like, a slip of paper or something that just says like show this to or present this to John or Rachel. And then people would just kind of like assume maybe that it was something good and they would own up to it. But yeah, I know part of it was that the tubes were harder to open than I realized. I think that they're like intended for like cigar storage. So I think they're supposed to be like pretty like airtight. But so I was not disappointed per se, but I was expecting more people to have opened.
And were you
People
aware?
did like guard those with their lives. Like everybody had them like super tight on them.
I slept.
Well, not everybody.
But then, the second part of the question though was, like, did I think that Emily was being too out there? Part of it is that like, since that's the only person that I'm really paying attention to in terms of like what, like for the, the quizzes or whatever, like keeping track of what she's doing. Like in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so like everybody's gonna know, but then nobody did, so it was like perfect. It was perfect.
Were you like a stage mom, like worried and like off to the side, like?
I mean, like internally, yes. But I have to keep it kind of like
you did a good job.
So yeah.
Well,
so
we haven't talked about this. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say, remind me about because the second challenge was the memorization challenge. Mm-hmm. Well, some of us had to memorize of the order of the shapes. Okay, so and we picked our own teams. I did not pick a team.
Yes, I got kicked out.
We were at a kitchen table, and then Rachel goes, "We're gonna split. You guys need to split yourselves up." And I specifically remember our team was sitting around the table with Steven there too, and it was Brienne who goes, "The girls," and we're like looking at Steven and be like, "Hi, Steven."
And she goes, I kicked Steven out and stuck with the girls. Sorry, bud.
Which I found hilarious watching it back. I'm like, we literally just kicked Steven out of the table just like that. Steven, were you offended by that? We just were like,
I was a little surprised, but it was kind of funny. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll go work with new people because like I think I'd worked with Erin and Brienne in the last challenge. Like, okay, at least I'm going to see some other people here. So I was with Erin, Riley, and Josh for the next challenge, and that was like a whole new group.
Now, before we get into the challenge, we'd like to explain what happened in the challenge, Steven.
What happened in the challenge? Well, we get there. I'm handed a radio, and we're just like, all right, let's look at this. Let's memorize it, lock it down. All the while, I don't realize I'm holding a radio that's turned off for like, I don't know, a good minute until I realize like, oh wait, it's not on.
Again.
It's
these are not intuitive. I'm sorry.
So we are forgetting a very important part of this night that we just glazed right over, Steven.
Wait, what?
And that is Mr. Josh, just like Luke lost his tube, has seemed to have misplaced his dossier.
I'm sitting there because we're doing those first confessionals, and Emily just kicks me over this dossier. I'm like, Emily, do you know whose it is? You're just like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. And so I just hold on to it. And then when I go to do the confessional, I think it's with Rachel or John. It's definitely not you, Tim. I just stuff it under the bed. I'm just like, all right, whatever. And then next day there was a panic, like John and Rachel's like, Tim needs to know, where's that dossier? We need it now. And so I'm like, all right, here it is. I'll show you where I've hid it.
Wait, okay, so it was not the notebook, it was the dossier. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he had a
it's
notebook.
him.
A lot of people
Oh,
looked at
and
it.
so you wanted it back to make sure that we weren't like cheating from it when we shouldn't have
Want
had
me
it.
to cheat from it. Yes.
Well, anybody,
and
yeah,
or just for the sake of
like the integrity of the game.
integrity.
I,
Yeah,
I had the
I didn't
dossier on
think
my
that
phone,
anybody
so
was
I
gonna.
fine.
Yeah, I didn't think that anybody was gonna cheat, but
I did.
Oh, okay. Well, but
Tyler,
that's your job.
hi.
Oh,
Hi,
Tyler.
Tyler.
Hi, Tyler.
Yes, you should play Survivor Indiana.
Yes,
But back to
Survivor Indiana's amazing.
but so
Yeah, with that, the whole point of the challenge was to memorize your board and then send it to another team. Obviously, there's one team that just doesn't need to memorize at all, and they are just reading off their items to another team.
My team. Yeah.
I nominated, because I had our walkie-talkie. I nominated your team, Steven, to, I said, okay, you're one. You tell us, we'll tell the, so and we passed it down. So really your team just had to read off of your board.
Yeah. And for us, at that point, Erin has the walkie-talkie, so he just
Yes.
reads off. And like, at that point, I was like, Erin seems like he's doing it right. And we all kind of memorized stuff because we had time when the radio was off. So like, if Erin had messed up, we all would have known when he messed up like our side. But clearly, it doesn't get read right. There's always the big discussion like, what was the last symbols? How do we mix it up? Was it us or was it you? We never knew. I kept asking, like, I'd like Erin, and like, Erin, are you sure this isn't some conspiracy where you're all trying to blame us? Like, what's happening here?
I know I went in hard on you all, but Erin did say he was not looking at the board when he was reading them. And he was like, and in the video, you see him like spinning around and like back to the board. And I'm like, what are you doing? So, I mean, to be fair, he was, and afterwards, I think some of you were also like, why wasn't he looking at it? But it was our mess up.
And it did cause for a little bit of tension and backlash, which I bet Tim was living for, that he was getting some good footage of disagreement happening round one. So that disagreement included my team with Erin, Brienne, and Danny. Danny just stood to the side. And then your team, Steven, where we were fully just going head to head against each other. And even though you were trying to step out, I kept bringing you back in. I was like, well, Steve doesn't know how to use a walkie. Like,
well, I don't think
I
got a
told
lot of
Josh,
trouble for
you
keeping
eat
it off,
last
to be honest.
because you messed up. I told you all you couldn't eat until we all ate. I said, you get to eat last. And then he did. I was like, oh my God, I'm just kidding.
Well, at that point, I'm too busy writing down everything about everyone. And I can't eat my stress right.
So you find out that it was Josh's dossier that you have stolen, and Josh is definitely not a silent, in the background type character. Did that affect your thoughts on that, or you're going to your grave that you hid that?
I mean, I think Emily knew, but I don't think anyone else quite knew that it was me. And I was like, this seems like something that I should tell post-game rather than in-game. Like, sorry, my bad, I sabotaged you. And I from talking with Josh, I don't know, maybe things would have been really different. He would have been more willing to bounce around had he had everyone's information written down. So it's hard to say what effect it had on him, but I think it certainly made Josh the focus of everyone that night. I think we all kind of said, well, what is this guy doing?
Okay,
so
I had no idea he lost his dossier also.
So speaking of that night.
Was I in the game?
Well, you left your tube out and I almost stole it. So that's why not all of us were guarding, but I was like, everyone would know it was me. Because I was the one claiming that my tube was gone.
Who took your tube got taken, right?
By Lachey.
Lachey. I love Lachey.
Taking was very lightly. Luke left his tube, Lachey took it, and Lachey hid the tube. Okay. And then Riley found it this morning and acted like he didn't find anything.
Well, I also went to bed like as soon as possible. So like, wait, but Steven, did you know that it was Josh's dossier or it was just
no?
dossier?
I know. I didn't know. I knew it was a dossier, so I didn't know it was Josh's.
So it wasn't like intentional.
Where's my dossier? I was like, I don't know.
Okay.
But the thing is, the dossiers didn't belong to any specific person. There was the exact route of dossiers to each other. So honestly, Josh could have taken somebody else's dossier.
Sure. Yeah.
So that night, you decided to sleep in hell. with notice your roommates for Luke and Brienne. Was that part of that your strategy to have the roommate, or is that just kind of how the chips fell?
We were kind of the last ones to get a room, which is why we ended up upstairs. And so like, I was kind of like, we'll see where I land, and like kind of like whoever my roommates are. That's kind of how I took it about. I mean, there was a bed I could have slept on, but I was like, let me give me the kind of same area of everyone else so we can have an easier time chatting at night.
Wait, you slept on the floor upstairs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of in a bed.
I didn't sleep back.
Oh, but still, wow.
I had a whole bedroom.
Compared to like I've
stuff that no one
so
knew.
much
Wow,
work.
like
No, because I walked upstairs and I was like, oh, and when I walked back down, I was like, I'm kicking a bedroom.
I mean, okay,
like twice
after survival challenge, take another shot.
Oh.
After that game, when like I was sleeping in the dirt in freezing rain in miserableness, everything is palatable to me nowadays.
Yeah, but a bed is so much better.
Wait, what's the drinking game that I?
Anytime Erin or someone mentions survival challenge, we drink.
Okay.
Y'all just missed me.
I have said it 0 times.
I'm at 2.
Is it 2?
Y'all are doing it on purpose.
But so going back to the betting situation, so you just kind of said a minute ago that your suspects were already kind of looking towards Brienne and Erin.
No.
That's what you said a second ago. What you said about that in the car. Play the tape.
Okay, so like not at that point in time. I think it's like over the course of the second day is when I kind of look back on that and say, wow, could Erin be the mole? Look how much chaos that strategy that she pitched ends up causing overall. And I was like, boy, that's such a great move for a mole to make, to kind of do something that seems really good, but then it has all this disastrous effects.
It's just my lack of awareness in a mole game.
Okay, so you wake up then very early to go put out the cards. And am I wrong that this is the morning that you've panicked that you slept in too much? Or is that the next morning?
Second morning, yeah. So morning of day 3. Morning day 2, I get out like at 6 a.m., but Joe's already up in the kitchen with coffee. And then I realize like Riley is downstairs, Josh is downstairs, Danny's in the billiards room. Just like, oh my gosh, there's like no room to maneuver. People are sleeping everywhere.
And so we get ready for our first quiz. Thoughts going into that quiz, just winging it. Like, what did you think?
Spreading answers, making sure I was trying to hit something on everyone. I mean, I like everyone misanticipated the quiz, really thought by like memorizing groups and categories, I can like capture more people until I was like, oh no, I need to know everything about everyone. And realizing I was just like kind of rapid firing questions. And I think this is where I think Luke, you shined over me in the game, is like I would walk out of a quiz. So like, all right, I can figure out the 20 questions by talking with people. I don't know how I answered all of them. Like, so every quiz, there'd be 2 or 3 questions. Like, boy, I answered something. I don't know what I answered. I just picked something and ran, made sure it wasn't me and wasn't Riley's celebratory cigarettes or cigar. Like, that's all I was trying to make sure I wasn't doing. And so, like, I could never quite know 100% what my answers were in everyone, because there's just a couple questions. I'm like, I just picked something for speed and don't know what I picked.
So did you go back and double check that you were like, okay, I know I had like 3 on Emily, 3 on Danny, or did you just, I clicked answers and I was done and best is best, you know?
I mean, I went through and like tallied up how everyone.
Good spreadsheet. Yeah, I like that.
I made Excel. I mean, I went and tallied up how I knew I answered, but there'd just be a couple questions like, I don't know. And so like, I would say, well, I think I have like one answer on like there's a quiz. I'm like, I have 2 answers on Emily, I think. I'm like, I'm not sure.
But in the moment, you didn't think that, you waited till after?
I mean, like because we talked the questions, I record it and be like, well, you know, I just simply don't know how I answered this. So this is my best approximation of how my answers spread. But because you were saying in your interview, like there are times like I had no answers on such and such. Therefore, I felt good about writing them off. That never happened for me.
Were you nervous after the first quiz? Like during the execution, we're all sitting in the living room watching our names pop up. Were you nervous? Did you think that you could have?
I really tried before the game to make my peace that I could be the first one out, saying like there's such a high level of randomness.
These are my notes from post quiz notes.
There's such a high level of randomness early on. And I was just like, I could be the first one out, and that's okay. I'm here for adventure. I mean, I'm just gonna be there the entire 4 days, and I have books to read and people to hang out with. Like, it'll be a good time anyways. But I really try to come to terms like I can just go at any moment, and that's the game for you. I mean, later on when you start kind of figuring more out, you're like, all right, like there's things I could have done. But the first quiz, I'm like, I don't know. It was a massacre. It's not what I was expecting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then oops, sorry.
No, I monopolize you. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then after the quiz and everything, there was a couple of us, me, you, and Erin specifically, we would sit around the table and start exchanging what the quiz questions were, and we were labeled smart people table because all we would do was study after the quizzes. How do you feel about knowing that we were called the smart people?
I mean,
wait, do you mean me, Erin, or Erin, the other Erin?
You, Erin.
Oh, okay.
It was the three of us sitting at the table exchanging answers. Pardon?
Yeah. I know. I just felt like looking back in the episodes, my face was in my notebook so much. I felt bad that was the content I gave you, Tim.
Were you shocked at all at Riley going?
I hadn't had a lot of. I mean, I had some good kind of conversations early that morning with Riley. So, but like again, it's so random. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I think Riley was not one of the wild cards. I was more like kind of trying to figure out. Like Noah was a big unknown for me. I'm just like, I don't know what to expect from him. You, Luke, were unknown with the mole shirts. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what to expect from you as well. Like so Riley going with he was a player I was curious to learn more about. When anyone says their favorite show is The Genius, I'm like, all right, I see you. I know like you're thinking because I love that show. But he was not one of the more wild card players. I was like, I don't know what I'm getting here.
Did Riley strike you at all as like a poker player?
I can see. I don't think I thought at the time.
I feel like he's a poker player. He's not, but yeah.
Does Josh strike you as a poker player?
I could see it.
Yeah.
It is funny though because he doesn't strike me as a Josh. I mean, doesn't strike me as a poker player, but
I can see Josh being a poker player. Yeah,
I can see Josh and Richard getting along very well.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, and that was because
none of you strike me as poker players, but Josh, I could believe it. Riley, I don't know why. He's like a poker player.
I play a mean game of Uno.
the only card game that I can play is cribbage.
I don't even know how to play that one.
And
I have no idea how to play
Rummy.
that.
So Tim, we get through the first quiz and you're like, yes, I got through the first elimination. Things going as planned in your mind? Are you still panicking? What are your thoughts at this point?
I am you're asking me, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. For me, the first round was going to be the most like logistically tricky, just because there were more like moving pieces and fewer people there on production because it was just at that point it was just me, John, and Rachel. So I knew that the first round was going to be more chaotic in that sense, but it was all, more or less contained at the house. I mean, obviously the crossword challenge, people were down the street or whatever, but
you had to pivot as well with a couple of your challenges because of the production.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There were a couple of changes, such as the memory one. You didn't watch my podcast, guys. Instead of 3 groups, it was supposed to be duos, which would have been way, way worse. Way worse.
The other thing that I had, in hindsight, should have done maybe for that, although it ended up not mattering because it was still everybody's.
We won $0. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that I was going to have it be like where they had to do like row by row. So like the first team would do one row and then the next, and then it would go around like that. And
that would have just made it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. and like at the end of that challenge, I was like, oh well, they got all of them. They did it perfectly. And then I looked at the answers and I was like, I did like triple check just to make sure.
Now, Tim, were there any surprises for you at this point in the game?
It would have been torturous. Surprises with well, I mean, the first execution is always a shock, just because, you know, like we've said, it's so much of it is random, basically, or just like a lottery almost. So that's always a shock. I was also like pleasantly surprised, not quite as taken aback as Rachel was, but like pleasantly surprised at the amount of like conflict, I guess, in the first couple of rounds. That was fun.
I didn't realize Rachel was taken aback by it.
It's great.
Well, I think she was more so like taken aback at the fact that people were gonna, like, there was like a push for everybody to open their tubes.
Oh, yeah.
I think she was definitely taken aback by that. But
Stephen, would you have opened yours if everyone else did?
Ooh, with enough peer pressure, I probably would have caved. I don't think I would have been obstinate enough. If somehow we kind of majority saying let's all open together and lose all the money we just earned, it'd been pretty funny. I probably would have ended up joining in with it.
Steven, if I so happened to just drop my tube out of my back pocket and you saw it, would you have been a good person and give me back my tube, or would you have snatched it?
I probably would have kept it.
Okay.
I think
he's part evil.
I didn't search for people's tubes or try to take it, but I don't know. But no one, the opportunity never came to kind of test what I would have done in that moment. I was just focused on pocketing mine and not letting anyone take it from me, to be honest.
Lawful evil.
I'm glad that Luke, pure of heart Luke, saw my tube and did not take it.
Well, and I was like, if I do, everyone's gonna realize it was me that did it, because so I was like, I've already been too drama on this tube thing. I just gotta let it go at this point.
And even then, like, I didn't even know, like, did he lose it or actually lose it? It's like, it was one of the things I just didn't know in the game, like what to make of that.
So we take the first quiz. So moving us along, and it's time for mini golf.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think.
Did you be a golfer?
I did not want to be a golfer. I'm not, like, my mini golf skills fully mediocre. And I was trying to just kind of watch like who's trying to step in the leadership positions and whatnot, and just trying to make note of that. So I was happy to just be one of the question people. I think one of the things I wanted to do pre-game is I wanted to do kind of what Danny was doing, where Danny kind of made these splashy things early on that just got a lot of attention on her. I think Danny was playing like how I like, and this is something I realized like kind of later in the game too. It's like, oh, Danny's doing what I want to do. Danny's getting all this attention on her, and like that's how I wanted to be doing. I just didn't.
Because she opened her tube. Did she open her tube? She did, right?
She lost her
tube. Well, she didn't have it with her.
Missed the food question. Broke the chain. Took the sabotage. Everyone's like, Danny.
Okay.
Well then, Stephen, we get to the mini golf course. We are playing mini golf just for fun. Anything while we were just playing mini golf before the challenge even started. Why Brienne and Luke are discussing our fates.
I played mini golf with you. It was a lot of fun. I didn't really think too much about what else was going on. But you and I were at the kind of the tail end of the cast doing mini golf, and I was trying to get sunburned.
Yeah. Who knew you were playing games with the devil? Well, anyways, we get to the actual mini golf portion.
Well, Emily, you remember that the car ride to mini golf?
Mm-hmm.
Who was it?
Good question. I remember
it was me, you, and Steven.
Oh, interesting. What was going on in that car?
I remember from that car ride is we saw the other car. I drew an image on my notebook and shined it on the window, and that's what I remember.
So, like, Luke, you're really good at memory conversations. I don't remember anything that we talked about in that car ride. I remember.
It's just generic. It's just funny because it's one of many times we show up as a trio on different things. Where if people are putting answers on me or people are putting answers on you, Steven, they're getting questions right because it's about Emily. Yeah.
We love
Many
that for me.
times.
Yeah, there's a lot of
But-
overlap, like Texas overlap between the two of you.
Texas, Leos, Texas A&M.
Mhm.
And we'll get to that part. But Luke,
Go ahead, Emily.
you were one of the people that got to assign us questions. When it came to Steven and me, we were one of the last second people because you literally did not know what to give us. You ended up giving Steven history, and Steven did not know when a ballpoint pen was invented. So,
I mean,
thoughts on your question and your category?
Meanwhile, who got the most shit about their question?
Deservedly so.
Erin.
Me and Danny. Give me a break.
Deservedly
Erin's
so.
got music.
You should have given me the Ohio question. I know what's in Chile.
We didn't know what the questions were. If we had known
Yeah,
the
they just knew the
questions,
category.
if we had known the questions, I would have given you the
did.
5-pointer and you would have been worse. So, because it was such a softball.
Erin, if I the question,
I would have gotten
may
the.
know
What
were
was
you
the, what was
getting
the
Ohio?
5-point question? The president
that
question.
he would have given you 5 points for to get the mycology right.
No. Well,
Yeah, Steven, you got your question wrong. That's besides the point. Did you see anything suspicious when it came to answering the questions, the questions that were assigned? Anything that really ticked your boxes?
our resident mycologist really kind of like, I was like,
if I mean seriously, mushrooms
Say
that,
it.
that week
Say
was
it.
like, I can't. No, I'm not going to say it. I just was not in good shape with mushrooms. Okay, that was a very authentic reaction to
Well,
at the moment about mushrooms.
Steven, I
Still
have a
can't
question
do
for you
that.
then. After the challenge, what did you have for lunch that day?
I don't recall. I think I had a salad. One of the salads with stuff.
You ate a salad
Because
and
we
a
went to
Mexican
the
restaurant.
Mole Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, Erin had mole. He got the thing in the mole. He got something in mole sauce. I remember like, oh, that's really funny given the game we're playing. You know, I think in terms of takeaways from that second challenge, it was you missing mycology, Danny missing the food, Erin missing music. Like I probably
I do think that the music question was hard.
Oh, it was, and like it was a hard question, and like
Yeah.
I didn't feel very suspicious about Erin at that point in time. That changes day 3, but day 2 I was like, whatever. And so those stood out to me. And then I thought Luke and Brand seemed to do a good enough job with what we gave them. So those were the kind of 2 action points. Lunch was pleasant, and then we get to the chain competition, where when Emily suggests, "Hey, it could be a puzzle," I'm like, "It's not gonna be a puzzle." Like, yeah, let's hit our puzzle people. I do escape rooms. Let's do it. And I was so sad that I was like the next up on deck before we ran out of moves.
4 people went, right?
Yes, 4.
Yep.
You.
Yeah, it was me,
Danny?
you,
Because
Emily,
Danny and Josh.
took away the other 2. Okay. Yeah, my
So-
thought was okay. Go ahead, Steven. Sorry.
So
Oh, I
Steven,
would
we're in
totally
that-
take the Joker.
So yeah, Steven, we're in that room after the 4 of them are gone, and John realizes out of nowhere that the challenge is over. And then all of a sudden we have like strong reactions to that room. What were your thoughts of all of these things?
It was shocking to kind of say, "Oh, by the way, you're done." I think that's kind of why everyone was so like, "What's going on?" It's like we thought we knew the rules, and clearly we didn't. And so I think that kind of shocked people, and then kind of like, "Oh man, people had these selfish options to take it for themselves." I mean,
but that was by design, right?
it was by
like a
design.
time bomb.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't know when it was gonna
been
go off.
I had been texting John like the number of remaining turns went down,
Right.
you know, and I guess he didn't
Phones are
like,
hard.
see them. Yeah.
Well,
But
I think it was good though that it wasn't.
well, I was gonna say I think that made the fallout from it more.
Because then it became a question of like, well, who? If John would have updated it after each turn, then it would have been clear that who did what, right?
Right.
It was still ambiguous when you all came out and started brutally interrogating us.
That
Tim,
was a treat to watch.
Tim, I have a behind the scenes question for you.
Okay.
So when we go to like mini golf and putt-putt, which is the same thing, and the Mexican restaurant. Did you call ahead and say, like, explain the whole concept of the game, or did you just like say that I'm just reserving spaces, or?
Well, the mini golf it's weird because it's just like a self-service thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So I just kind of took the gamble that nobody would be there that early.
Worked out.
It worked out. And there's like a cash box there, which I struggled to even find at first, but then I just, put probably not even enough. I probably should have put more in it, but
If you're watching this putt-putt golf course at 5101, there he is admitting.
But
maybe you put in
yes,
too much. You never know.
Maybe I did put in too much.
You never know.
Right. But so I didn't like have to. I just called ahead to like make sure that was how it worked. And yeah. And then for the restaurant, for both restaurants, I just called and made reservations beforehand, and I told the one that we went to for dinner for like the date night thing.
Mm-hmm.
I told them that we might be that we would probably be filming there, and so I kind of vaguely explained what it was, but they, people don't understand really. But Trish tried to explain, or not tried. Trish explained to one of the other people who was working there as we were leaving, like what it was, and she seemed pretty intrigued.
So,
okay, well, that's good.
One more question before we get back to Steven from Me, Tim. Future mole players that are watching this interview to prepare for the Mole Ohio, should they be memorizing dishes, margaritas, drinks at restaurants, or is that always going to be outside the scope of the game? Or what do you think? What do you
never say never. It's just going to be how because 90% of the quiz I make in advance, but there's always tweaks that I make in the moment, so it could happen. But then I would have to also pay attention to everybody. So
yeah, it's a lot of pressure on you too.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm going to mention is, as of now, for folks who are thinking of applying, we're going to be at a different house that is not, as far as I know, not going to have a sauna for an attic.
Wait, but will there be Jesus?
I was like, wait a minute.
Will there be Jesus
at that house?
In all likelihood, yes.
Wait, is it still in Wilmington? I thought you said that was the only house that fit everybody.
So it is. And when I went to book it, because we're doing it earlier, a little bit earlier in the summer, it was not available for that entire stretch. So we're going to be in Oregonia, Ohio, which is close.
Where's that? Okay.
Nowhere.
New location, new.
I understand. Yeah. Well, I need to know because I'm going to help you. So
right. Oh yeah. It's you know where Lebanon is?
Yeah.
It's close to Lebanon,
I think. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So again, advice to future mole players: learn everything there is to know about Oregonia, Ohio.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steven. So we had the chain. We did the golf challenge. Going into this next quiz, we had this big trial of Noah and Brianne putting everybody on trial. That affect what you were doing, or were you still kind of just splitting?
I think how Brianne kind of took control and led the situation, for me, made me kind of think like, okay, she feels very playery and not very moldy in how she's acting there. So I kind of saw her taking the leadership roles. I'm like, I'm feeling good about Brianne watching her do this. That was kind of my takeaway from that. Noah, I don't know what they could know at this point still. I was just like, I don't know, like, Noah.
Who were you most suspicious of, Steven, when you came out and Emily and I had not taken a joker, but we had not given a joker? and Danny and Josh took a Joker.
So Josh, I feel like a lot of people, I kind of was like, this is just Josh.
Yes,
Danny
yes,
taking
agreed.
it, I'm just like, I'm like, it's like all of us are secretly like looking at Danny Wing, like all the things Danny has done the past 2 rounds, like, oh, mole behavior. I felt
Well,
like Emily
according
gave me
to quiz 2, you were very sus of Danny and Erin the most.
I
was
mean,
constant.
I was trying to remember when I know by round 3 I'm like very much on Erin. I was like trying to think around 2 how much I was. I mean, Emily, I felt like you gave me a good explanation to why you did what you did, or you were just very vocal, like here's why I did it. I don't feel like I heard it from you as much, Erin, why you made that decision. And so
Yeah.
it was a big like
Nobody
question mark.
really asked me. And like I remember at the time I was like, Emily is not explaining this actually correctly. And I remember like Emily was like, oh, well, we could do this or this. And I was like, no, that's not actually the instructions I got. So I like said the instructions I got. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to make me look more suspicious or make Emily look more suspicious. I don't know, but she's not saying the instructions that I said.
be
That I got.
completely blunt, I just decided not to read anything. I just said, well, this isn't going to help us. Next.
Well, I'm just saying, I was like, no, that's not what I was told. So I was being 100% honest. And I was like, I'm not going to help, but I'm not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what everybody else did. And so I was like, okay, well, at least we still have hopefully the 6, because I wasn't doing anything to take it away. And I had no idea if other people had. But nobody really asked me. I was just like, those weren't my instructions. And like nobody... This is why I say I like purpled myself in this game. Like I was like sometimes the mole, maybe not, and then nobody.
Well, I think at this moment, Danny,
hold on, everybody. New drinking game. Every time Erin is self-depreciating about her mole game, we also have to drink.
It's my vibe. What can I say? It's the way I roll.
So
yeah, it was like I guess at this point I'm heavy on Danny and Erin. I think Danny, like everyone, is like, how can you say no? And then I think you were the person of starting to kind of feel
Danny
like,
said yes. Danny took
in terms of in terms of suspecting Danny, I think how can you say no to suspecting her when she's doing all that at that point?
Okay.
And just one more thing from my perspective, and I know I've given a 2.5-hour deep dive on it, but I was shocked that everybody was so on Danny in my mind, because I was like, oh, Josh and I are so out there with this tube thing that Danny's kind of beneath. And that's one of my takeaways from the game was, oh, everybody was onto exactly the same thoughts I had. Like, you were not unique.
I didn't suspect Danny at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like I probably should have picked up like this is too much. The mole likely wouldn't be doing this, but against the mole, you just don't know. Like Danny could just been the most in-your-face aggressive mole ever, right? And everyone's just kind of second
which would be cool.
Which would have been like if you wear not the mole shirts or like
exactly
not the mole. I mean, I feel like Luke would have said that no matter what. So it was like a good, like you were just a great person to have there to like always give a little sus,
Well, round 2, Noah goes home. What are your thoughts, Steven?
Actually, a little relief because I was like, oh, good. I don't need to figure out the enigma of Noah.
I would agree with you. Like, I did not know. My read on Noah was kind of like, what is WTF? Like, what's going on here? And so that was a helpful, only to like sift through the ambiguity of things a little bit.
It was interesting to me. I did not expect Noah to play the game that way. Like, so I was also, I mean, like, I was expecting him to be more Josh-like, I guess. And he kind of was the anti-Josh almost, which was, caught me off guard. And I was like really surprised when he was eliminated. That was, I mean, like in terms of like what I was kind of like expecting or how I thought people were going to be doing that was probably the most like jarring elimination for me.
So,
It
Tim,
was for me too, because I felt like he had like a lot of main character energy, and like
The
he
coat.
is out.
The coat.
Yes, I mean all the things. I mean, I didn't see it, but like in the interviews, like sprawling on the bed, like, you know what I mean? Like there was just so much main character energy, and then like he's out, and I was like, what? But then it turns out that he like, who did he go all in on? Danny?
I don't think he did actually go all in.
Okay, because I feel like there was like talk about after that he went
It
all in.
looks like he went heavy on Danny, you, and Steven.
Okay,
But it wasn't like an all-in
gotcha. Okay.
thing. But
so it's time to do some panorama photos.
Steven, have you ever done a panoramic before?
Never ever have I done a panorama photo. I mean, it's easy when you're just like pointing at the landscape, but when you have to like have people run around and change letters, something becomes a lot harder. And then you learn like 40 minutes in, John's like, you can't walk while doing this. You have to stand still and pivot. It's like, oh, that's good to know.
Oh, you got that information. Mm-hmm.
John took pity on us at
Tim,
several points in the
Can you
game.
see me staring at you, Tim?
yeah. I like to be hands off.
Except
Tim,
like don't stand on that.
except for don't get us like in trouble for like trespassing or whatever.
So, Tim, did you steal this challenge from somewhere, or is this a Tim original?
I stole it. I steal most of the challenges from
It
places.
was such a good challenge. Like
the memory boards, that was from the Finnish version of the Traders. The chain one is from the French version of the Traders, and then this one is from the Dutch version of the Mole.
So Tim, I recognized last season you pulled inspiration from Devil's Plan, and so I watched Devil's Plan season 2, thinking maybe I could preempt some games you put into play, but they kind of changed that season so there wasn't the cooperative games.
Wait, what did you steal from Devil's Plan?
I stole, or like, well, I like reworked the advantage auction from last season. From 2024.
Told I needed to rewatch the instructions for every challenge on the Devil's Plan like 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm not as smart as you think I am. I'm watching. Oh my god.
So I the advantage auction where they had like the 2 advantages that were up for bid, and they had to, and whichever person had the highest bid for the one that had the lowest total would get it, and the other one, Okay. Did I take something else from
the face recognition one?
Face recognition, yes. Yes.
I'm so glad you didn't do it to
and the puzzle relay where they went.
I would have been so good at face recognition. I watched the Golden Gates face recognition thing, and I guessed everyone right. From my home, but whatever.
But Steven, thoughts on your panoramic challenge overall?
One thing I wasn't happy with the challenge is I was like, we did the $15 words and we did them well. And I was just like, man, if I was trying to if I want people to think them well, we can't do this good. And I remember we finally finished the first word. We're getting the car to go to the theater of the second word. I kind of say, should we do a $5 question? I kind of throw it out, and Lachey and Josh like, no. I was like, all right, I guess we're doing the big ones.
Wait, so which word? Remind me which words you did again.
We had popcorn.
Like popcorn, okay.
And
Probate, okay.
Which
that's really
props to Brienne for getting that one. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, well, we can do the harder words than just watching Josh do it. This might be hard for people to figure out what letters we're doing. So
popcorn. I got popcorn. That was easy. I was like, popcorn. Yeah. I mean, I hope that people realize that we got $5 words because we had the Mole on our team.
Steven, what were the $5 options for you?
I don't recall.
I'm guessing like movie and court or something like that,
Judge.
probably. I don't know. I'm just
Judge, I
guessing
think.
like shorter words.
Yeah.
Judge.
Judge. Oh, got a G? Oh.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
can
How do you
find
do
it.
that? You have to like
Yeah,
put
I mean,
G.
I could look it up and see what.
But
they were.
why?
it's like I'm looking at
Let's
my
see what
notes.
you
And I didn't
have.
write down those words. Yeah, so
I can
like
look real quick.
I felt like
I don't
walking
even
that
know
we
what
did
our
really
second
well.
word was. Our second big word.
Your
Whiskey.
words were actor.
It
And
Brienne said
Fiction,
whiskey and
whiskey.
fiction.
I knew
So you
whiskey.
said-
But that's not Steven's
Yeah.
team.
no.
Yeah, Steven
No,
has
this is
were
me and
actor,
Brienne and Emily and Erin.
actor, and judge.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
And G would be so hard.
And then
we didn't have to
for
do one.
your
I think
group
J
was
would be-
Probate is much.
$5
I mean,
sugar,
B is hard too.
15 was walking.
What were the others?
So
Grave.
for each group, it was sugar or
Sugar.
funeral, and then pedal or walking.
It's
You did
Sugar
funeral
Grove
and
Cemetery.
pedal.
Hmm?
I did not notice that it was at a cemetery, by the way.
Well, that
Same.
one would have been hard because it doesn't like intuitively have anything to do with the type of location. It's just
Well,
that's
no, but
Sugar
funeral
Grove
was at a
Cemetery.
cemetery.
Do we
Yeah,
not
no, I
find
know.
it
Oh yeah,
Kind of
no, but even
different
with
But
funeral,
sugar,
I
I
had
mean.
no idea it was at a cemetery.
at a
So
cemetery?
Steven, when it came
Well-
to guessing the words, were you giving it your best effort, or were you just letting other people kind of go? What was your strategy there?
I looked at the pictures we got from their teams. I had no clue what was going on. I think when we saw the picture from Joe, Danny, and your team, Luke, I'm just like, what is this? Like when it just like chops off a whole letter, you see fragments of Danny. I'm like,
That
clearly peak mole behavior from Danny or something like that. I was like, did they just submit a bad photo? I don't know. I think my takeaways from this challenge was Josh did well. Just Josh did like his trying. It's my first time with Lachey. Lachey did really well. Like I didn't see anything nefarious from them. Josh guessed an answer correct. And so I think it was more kind of like, all right, I don't feel like I want to lean as hard on those two as direction at this point. And then I noticed like like Erin's group, all $5 words. What's going on? Danny's group, terrible photos. What's going on? So that was my takeaway from this challenge.
I mean, to be fair, we just had a very small sliver of sidewalk, but Tim can
Well,
corroborate.
we tried using the stage, and Tim said no.
I didn't want to get in trouble with that bar. So
I would have gone inside and bought a drink to be like, let us just take pictures in your parking lot.
I was worried about people like I was worried with the cemetery. I was worried about if there was like going to be something that and that's I think why you couldn't see headstones in the back was because like they were trying to kind of not be near like there was like a kind of fresh grave, Rachel said.
Oh
so
God.
So they kind of had to be
respectful.
Yeah, no, I don't even think that was intentional. We just kind of hung out by the entrance.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's just what Rachel was telling. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe she shepherded you in that direction before you start. Yeah, away from. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know how fresh it was.
Heart. Oh.
Yeah.
So, Steven, then the next thing that happens is we hear from Daddy Matt, and we are put together in matches. Were you happy to be put with Lachey? Were you upset about it? Were you indifferent? Like,
I was happy, like, because I felt Lachey and I had worked well in the first challenge. I was interested to see what was going on. I mean, I feel like there was room to like extrapolate. Oh, we could be doing some sort of pair elimination or something pair going after it. But I just thought like, oh, this is like a one-off thing, and like I could talk to Lachey more. And she and I didn't talk game at dinner. We had a lot of just good kind of one-on-one personal conversation. I mean, the most game we had is when I'm sitting with Erin, Lachey, and like Danny comes over and it's all talking about Brienne. I'm like, well, this is really fascinating. I'm hearing Brienne's name a lot. Why are people pushing Brienne towards me? I don't believe it. So that was.
Can I tell you why I did? Because on the walk to dinner, I said, "So what are you thinking?" And she's like, "I don't know." Like very standoffish. Brienne, if you're in the chat still, I don't mean to like throw shade at you, but like you were not giving anything. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm going to start talking to people about this stuff. But then, I am here. Brienne is here. But like was not giving anything. And so at dinner, I was sort of like, I'm going to like feel other people out and see what's going on. And like, Stephen, I felt like you and I the whole time were like not aligned, but like we were both like not aligned with anyone. So we were like kind of, but you suspected me and I suspected you at the same time. Like, so it was this weird dynamic, but I was like, when we were sitting with you and Lachey and I was like, Brienne, there's something going on there.
Yeah. I think
I was not on the Brienne train.
Meanwhile, she and Trish and I are just talking about lesbian bars in Philly the whole time. So.
I think one thing I regret was not. I think this is most games I play. I tend to hesitate and like people to come to me versus me go to them. And I should have been more willing to go to you and go to Brienne, go to Luke.
Yeah, I was sort of
and say like, hey, like let's do this work together. And like, and maybe it was a world where I still do that, even with like I'm pretty sure it's in the mall, but let's just get closer and figure it out figure it out from there. And I should have been more willing to make that step. I also just got. Like that first night, I was so busy just copying everything down. Which Erin, it was funny. Like I kept missing one or two facts. But you said like, Erin, what's your favorite this? Erin, what's your favorite that?
You kept me. I'm like, it's in the dossier. Like,
I'm like, I missed it. I need to know.
That all of you memorized.
Yeah, Stephen, please highlight Brienne's most recent comment because yes, go to Marshall's.
Go to Marshall's in Philly.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt.
And so I feel that was a missed opportunity with most of the people here on this podcast to try to do something with. Now, Emily, it would have been maybe the poison kiss if had I done that with you, but like who knows? I think I got so busy like on the dossier night one. Then night two it was like kind of a lot of just like gotta study, gotta like figure out what's going on, and like at that point, like end of night three after this round. I'm just memorizing everything about you, Erin. Like I'm just going through memorizing.
Not even there, night three. I was there night three, right?
Yeah.
Night two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim, I got a question for you.
Okay. I was like, did I make it that far?
After seeing all the matches and seeing what chaos Matt has brought to the world, what were your thoughts on the matches? Knowing who the mole is, knowing who everybody was putting answers on. Did you have any thoughts, and were you worried about a specific duo?
So to start with, the matches were beautiful, perfection. Could not have been more. Yeah,
could have been better. Could have been better.
Okay, from my perspective,
all of us here want
no notes. No notes. I didn't suspect that anybody would actually want to change, like seriously want to change duos. So that wasn't like a surprise to me. I was, when you say like worried about them getting eliminated.
Yes.
I was.
They're probably out the door, or any duos are like, this is gonna make some good TV right here.
Well, the duo that did end up getting eliminated both made for good TV and had me like, oh shit, there goes like the two of the biggest red herrings. At least based on like looking at this. Yeah, right. Well, and also I'm just like, it's just like, round 3, 4, and 5 and 6. I'm just like, well, I guess we're gonna end the tradition of a woman winning the Mole Ohio. But
sorry.
Yeah. But that was, I guess, like it was a mixed thing. I mean, obviously I didn't want anybody to be eliminated, but that was definitely, I knew that was going to kind of reset the game.
It did.
When Brienne and Danny, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the word that everybody said was like, okay, I have to start over for episode 4. at the beginning of episode 5, at the beginning of episode 6, 7, and
Mhm.
I don't feel like that was a thing in the previous seasons. Like,
No, I
I
mean,
think
only
our season
reset.
was really exciting because
Yeah.
there was this like, there was always an interview of like somebody being like, I need to regroup. And like, I mean, Steven, because you had gone so, you thought it was me.
Yeah.
You were like, your interview after was like, everything I know is wrong.
Yeah,
Well,
because
and
like
let's end the curse of Luke. Let's not forget the curse of Luke.
And can we also go
Luke,
back
honestly,
a
Luke,
second?
the only I went out. If I had been faster, you would have gone home that round.
Yeah,
Instead, I
that
went
sucks
out.
for you. So, Steven,
Crazy.
so,
And if you hadn't taken the Joker
right,
then
Lachey
you would
round.
then Lachey would have stayed. Yeah.
I
But
mean,
Steven, going back to the state, though, my big question for you is, we know that there's some type of challenge coming. We know we're not just randomly partnered and now we're going to take a quiz. Did you have any ideas of what was going to happen in your mind or any theories?
honestly, no, it's just kind of taking it moment by moment. I really should have thought more about it. I mean, my favorite thing this round, Luke, is like we take the quiz, the elimination happens, you come to me, it's like, what was your strategy? I'm like, I didn't really have one. You're like, really? I'm like, and you explain your strategy. I'm like, well, shoot. Well, shit, I should have done that too. I was just like, so like, wow, I really missed the opportunity to be like strategic about this quiz here. Because like, Lachey and I are talking. Lachey, you know, I didn't know at the time, is giving me straight up her thoughts. I am meanwhile is like, all right, I have to tell her names, but like my secret top suspect is Erin. I don't want that getting out. I have to, so I'm going to say Danny, the name everyone knows, and I'm going to throw out Luke as well as another possible suspect, right? Because I need to hoard this secret to myself, right? And so like I was just
Because you figured it out.
I was just too cagey to give that information to Lachey for free, and like when I was thinking she was being cagey when she's really not, and so like we could have.
Love you, Lachey.
Well, and one of the people you threw out, at least in the episode, was Emily.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of thinking like, you know, what's the name that maybe is believable, but I don't really think is the mole. It was just like, you know, someone like, you know, kind of like not like somewhere in the middle of the pack. That's like, it's kind of believable perhaps.
Yeah. Well, Emily was on Lachey's radar at that point.
Saved
too.
me.
I think at that point, Lachey was the only one that had really been clocking Emily.
Mhm.
And Lachey is the one who saved you, right, Steven?
Yeah, so Lachey gets the higher score. I mean, I think I get one right. I think in a tie, I don't lose because I'm faster than some other players. But it's still Lachey's score. Lachey gets first place that round and carries me.
But
I
wasn't
mean,
that like
so-
a super high score of like 2?
Or
Or
Oh my god, I couldn't believe how low our scores were every round.
I mean, I one thing that impressed me about other players, like both you and Erin and Luke, was just like, you know, like I felt like you guys learned people's stats. I
did.
really
I
just,
memorized everything about everyone.
I really could like only do one person at a time, and so
No,
that was you.
At some point, I knew everything about all of you except him. But yeah, but Steven, you and I were like lauded as having like the best notebooks because we had like we turned ours into like a analog Excel sheet, basically. But yeah, no, I was actually really impressed with, but I was super stressed, like with how much I memorized everything. It drained me. I was like done at night.
Yeah, no, because I really wish like all of us do is wish that we could like 20 questions. If you just put 4 questions on 5 people and you get one as the mole, you're good till the finals. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm.
And like it was just
New
so
strategy.
hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, let's do it again. Come on, give us another shot.
Yes.
New
Mole
mole.
Ohio 2025 Redux. Yes.
We would be, I mean, honestly, we would be a good group to like reload and redo
To have it do it again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Danny and Brienne get eliminated. Obviously, there were a lot of people shocked. Where were you in that all, Steven?
You know, I was not in the Brienne train like everyone else. Brienne was someone I really wanted to have a good conversation with that night. I'd say, hey, I think we can work together and do stuff because a lot of people are putting suspicion on you. And I don't know if you're the mole or not, but let's work with this. Danny, again, like Erin was my toss. I was like, not Danny. So Danny going out, I was like, well, you know, it's not the end of the world. At least she's out here. I still have my top suspect. Like this is the person I really want to hone in on at this point. So I was feeling okay. I mean, it was again, surprising given just the focus on them, but not like world shattering at the moment.
Oh no, it was world shattering for me. Only because I felt like I had gone out on a limb that night and like talked to you, talked to people about Brienne. And then they both leave and I was like, what?
We can never forget
Oh, no,
the gas
we all know
you can
the
hear
gas
from around the world.
Yeah,
burst that I let out.
that will definitely be one of the clips, the daily clips that I'm going to be posting. I finally figured out how to. Yeah, I finally figured out how to schedule.
And that's what happened. I was like, I just lost it. I was like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured out how to schedule Instagram posts. So I've got them all like kind of lined up for the next few days.
But, I mean, Stephen, I find it so interesting that you were not. I feel like a good proportion of us were, okay, this is helpful. This is telling. But not you, really.
I guess, you know, I saw how Brienne was like kind of taking that leadership role, and like I kind of looked at it as like she seems like she's doing a good job. And at this point, like the mess of that first walkie-talkie experience, I'm putting all on you, not her. I'm putting everything on you.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair because I threw it out. So yes, fair.
Yeah, and like, you know, like, and like I hand you the walkie-talkie, we fumble around a bit. I feel like a lot of it was like, like my mind, I'm like, this is all Erin's master plan, one after another.
No, that's me trying to be like a little sus, but mostly legit.
Next morning.
Yeah, and so then this round's where it's really going to cause me like the runarounds with that head cough saying, "What are you now?" Right? And so we have this next round. There's the whole phone thing, and like, I wish like everyone, I wish I grabbed the phone, but instead I'm inside, kind of watching with Luke through the window, like, what's happening? But
no, we were studying our notebooks, though. We were like, no, leave us alone. We've got to study our notebooks.
Yeah, we should talk about the postcard that morning because, like, I hide more postcards.
Yes, I would like to actually dive a little bit into this because.
Okay.
So I came downstairs and I saw a postcard on the floor, and I think Tim was in the kitchen, and I was like, "What is this?" And you were like, "Meh," like you just you pretended I didn't ask.
Pretended.
You were like, and done. And so I walked into the dining room and I said, "We've got mail," and I like flicked it on the table. You apparently, I did. I was like, I don't know what to do with this because I thought it was like I thought it was a clue. And I don't know, like, again, I'm sort of like walking blind into this whole thing. But Stephen, to you, that was like, oh my God, she's full. And I still don't understand that. So I would love for you to like walk us through.
In my mind, players want to be greedy with information, right? Players want to be greedy with insights they have of themselves or information, while moles want to spread information. Right. And so moles are more open with information, especially if they know it's bad information, because they're okay with other people having that because that hides them. Right. Think of Emily.
Fair. Yep.
Like, for instance, Emily, at the final five, you're talking to Josh. You told Josh, Steven is my top suspect. Right. I think Luke at that point in time likely would have never told anyone, like, I went all in on Emily and survived. Right. But you're like, hey, I essentially went all in on Steven, and here I am. You tell it to Josh because you're fine with him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so I think
you thought I was just trying to like spread your information because you knew the source of them, whereas I clearly did not.
Yeah, and so like I had no clue that Emily had the information already. That hey, this is from me, and had already seen it that day. I didn't know Brand collected all three of them that day before.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I had no idea.
And so like
I saw, and I thought it was like, oh, this is how we start our date today. Like to me, it was like, this is the thing. And then that's what set Luke off for.
No, what got me was
I loved seeing that. Like you were totally just like going off on me, but I loved it.
But I mean, I'm not going to rehash it, but it was definitely. I figured this out. This is what it is. And you kept trying to prevent me from figuring it out.
I couldn't articulate. No. It wasn't even that. It was, I could not articulate what was confusing me about it. And then I realized like, oh, I didn't realize they were letters. I thought it was words. That was,
and then,
I knew
and
that
then after explaining it to you no less than 25 times, as soon as someone else is coming down the stairs, you're like, oh, Don't you know this? It's a T9 cipher. Luke solved it, but you don't understand it because you're not from our generation.
You're kind of
I'm like,
exaggerating.
calm down.
Luke exaggerating? What?
You're exaggerating a little bit of my like enthusiasm for sharing information with people, but no, but it was the letters versus words. I didn't realize it was letters. That was what threw me off. I knew what T9 is. We're old. We're not old, Luke. I'm old now because I'm older than you, but you're not old. So
you are not old, Erin. Self-depreciating drink. So
yeah, drink. Yeah.
I have to. I have to get more.
So Stephen, postcard gate. We do have.
No, but the best part was that it was I found it. And it was a picture of the Dayton Art Institute.
Which, like, I felt so embarrassed about afterwards because, like, I Googled, like, Wilmington, Ohio landmarks or something like that. I'm, like, looking for things that look decent on a postcard. I was like, oh, that looks like a thing. I don't even, like,
you made the postcards?
I made them all, yeah.
No, but, like, you created the postcard? Like, you put the picture on it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just, like...
Oh, no.
Found Wilmington, Ohio postcards. Okay.
Me and Microsoft Publisher, we're friends.
Damn. Okay. All right.
There's so, not a lot of things in Wilmington that look good on a postcard.
Most of the building art, it looks good in postcards. Let's be honest.
Well, okay, yeah, no, that's true. We do have the murals, yeah.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing. Sorry.
You could put the Banana Split Festival on there.
Yes.
I messed up. I mean, my favorite thing, Emily, was learning how you use the postcards. Like, you knew they were fake, and you like gave them to Erin, built trust with Erin, sent Erin off the thing.
Erin,
like,
mail Erin, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, we're now at the challenge where Emily, Josh, and Erin are out at the vehicles, and they eventually saw these videos, and then they had to come in and tell us a story. Did you think that challenge in your mind was pretty straightforward, or are you thinking there's something here that we're missing?
When we go to the voting, I was like, all right, I'm going to vote wrong, and I'm pretty sure whoever I vote for gets an advantage. And I was like, well, who of here do I feel best about that I want to give an advantage? For me, that was Emily. I felt like I had the best conversation with you, and I felt like the best person out of the group I was working with was like, I'd rather Emily get whatever advantage I'm giving than Erin or with Josh. And now, granted, I mean, you had the right read of like Erin dissembling like that. Like, I'm impressed. I should have thought more about that. And maybe if we deliberated, we would have come to saying, hey, like, he's sucking for a reason. It's just in the moment I just didn't disentangle. It's just like, boy, all these things suck. Let's give Emily whatever bonus she's about to get here.
And in your defense, we also didn't have time to deliberate, so it isn't like I was able to give you that information. I was being cagey. It was like, okay, guys, vote.
I mean, and it was something for me, like, you know, later game, I'm like, Luke can be the mole. Oh my gosh. I was like, well, he did get that question right. So
I will say, in the end, it did not really give me an advantage. It's just volunteer money, which was fine with me. I told Tim I did not want to be one of the names drawn. So I was like, fingers crossed, don't make me drink vinegar.
Well, I mean, at this point in the challenge, like, I'm kind of like, all right, I don't really have a strong coalition. We're doing some sort of voting game. And, like, I feel on the outs and up and like, yeah, I know where this is going. I know this is going poorly. Of course, I mean, there's some shenanigans, right? Where, Emily, you and I claim our numbers. We're told, hey, don't do that. And so Luke gets kind of thrown out to round one, which, again, at this point, I'm like, well, who do I not want to have advantage? I'm like, I think Luke's sharp. I don't want Luke to have an advantage. I'm happy voting him out here.
Luke also threw Luke's name out. Let's be real here.
Luke may have also threw Luke's game as well here. But and then, like, you know, round two, Erin counterclaims. And I'm just like, well, shoot. What I love about that is Erin's like, I have a whole plan. And that the plan just goes over my head. I don't even realize you can vote for yourself. Because I'm thinking survivor rules, not Mole Ohio voting rules. And so, like, I kind of realized, like, yeah, I'm going down. And when the shots of vinegar come, I'm like, boy, my sense of smells bad and everything smells vinegary. I think I'm surrounded by vinegar anyways. So I'm like, I don't know.
And then, additional to that, once again, this is a fun Luke, Steve, and Emily Easter egg
on the couch together
because we were the three that were on the couch.
Yeah, I regret mostly when it's between me and Erin, and clearly one of us is going out. I really wish I said, look, you vote me out, great. I'm not going to have it. Once you eliminate me, eliminate Erin as well. Like take him down afterwards, right? So and I don't think Emily, you would have ever done that.
Oh no, not
So-
a chance. Not a chance now.
Yeah, so I think
I'll take one for the team.
yeah. So I wish I'd set things up better, but like once I was out, like I think Erin, Joe, Lachey, you all were outmatched by everyone else at that point.
And that's it. That's the challenge. And next thing you know, we're taking a quiz. Am I misremembering this?
No, we quiz soon after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
so at this point, you're like almost like
Erin
Lucas
Ho.
here. It's Erin.
Yeah. I mean, Emily, I think you have
I
the
wish.
photos. I think you have the photo thing pulled up, but like I go not all in on you, Erin, but I am heavily skewed on you at this point because you're the person who I know. So like I don't know, like 60 to 70% of my quiz is focused on you at this point, with some
Every
answers kind
single
of.
round, Aaron would one of your top answers. I'll say
Yeah.
that right there.
Yeah.
Until Aaron
Yeah.
was out.
And
You-
Yeah.
this
To be
was
fair, Stephen, you were my top.
It's mutual.
This is Luke's
Because I was like,
infamous
okay, I
20
could
for
see
20.
You
And
also
as-
had a couple on Lachey and Luke as well.
As much as I knew, like my initial gut instinct was the mole is a woman. Just looking at the previous moles, I was like, the mole's going to be a woman.
Yeah,
And
you
then I
put your
just
vote
doubted
on
myself.
Steven and Joe.
Yeah.
I really
Because
didn't
Joe,
want.
I was like, Joe, I would never suspect Joe, so I'm going to suspect Joe.
Joe, again, another player who was very enigmatic to me. We had some decent like one-on-one personal conversations, but no game talk whatsoever at all in the game period. I mean, we had some great video game talk, I think, during that third day at some point, but I had no idea where he was at. I kind of saw, like, I thought, like, at this point, I'd seen you, Erin. I saw you talking to Joe. I kind of thought, like, okay, maybe there's a Joe, Lachey, Erin, or some other contingent going on there. I had some idea of that, but
Luke, what did Joe and I talk about?
So I'm not bringing up all the Easter eggs, but I want to continue with Stephen because there's a couple things that I would bring up if we bring up you and Joe before Jurassic Park, and then we're just backtracking. But Stephen, here's my question, and I got to remember what I was going to ask. Okay, so you're going in and you think it's Erin to this challenge.
Yep.
I remember because I even looked at Tim and said, "This is around I'm going home or I'm about to win the game," and it was when Erin got eliminated.
Yep.
Did you immediately go, "This is okay, it's my backup person," or do I need to completely start over and reevaluate? Like, how did you approach the game?
Oh, so like I was like horrified. I was like, oh my gosh, I really thought I cracked it and I haven't. I mean, I knew coming to the game, like, it's so tempting to fall for a person, not think about other options, and like, confirmation bias yourself. And I was like, well, shoot, I've confirmation bias myself. Like I was reading everything to be reading Erin, and that's not the case. And I was like, well, and at that point, I'm like, well, I don't have any strong suspects. Like everyone else, I'm kind of looking, I'm like, I don't know. And so like I kind of divide the group into two pieces, right? I said there's three people I am more inclined to lean on than others, and those were Erin with an A, you, Luke, and you, Emily. Because I looked at Lachey and I was like, Lachey's done well in the challenges I've been with her. And I frankly, looking at her game outside, like the first challenge, her not knowing her favorite author, and later you just learned that she just reads a lot and her favorite author changes a lot. And I was like, I don't see what else she's done. Josh, I'm discounting, but I'm like, boy, if it's Josh, I will eat my sock. Like I'm doing it, but like I'm gonna hate myself if it actually ends up being Josh. And then Joe, again, like I hadn't really seen Joe do any explicit sabotaging. Again, like Joe and I just wasn't seeing what he was up to or game. And then of course, come to the Crinkle Crunkle, like he like heads up our art project. I'm like, yeah, it's not Joe. And so I look at you three. So Luke, I'm just like, he wears the mole shirts. I like it's playing mind games with me. And you kind of look at what he's done. I'm like, there's some stuff thrown in there that I think can lean to it. Emily, she has her hands in enough things. Again, there's like kind of a case I can potentially build for Emily. And then Erin with an A, like day 1, day 2, I was like, nah, it's not Erin. It's not, like, whatever. And then like day 3, like he has that round 4, he just goes hard. He does so much damage, right? Between the lying and the poker game, he runs. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote him off and I shouldn't have. Is that leads? I'm like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing. I pray no one else does either. I'm gonna split.
So you
I'm just
had
gonna pray and split.
you had no idea at this point that Joe and Erin with an A were definitely thinking it was you, with Joe thinking it was me.
No idea. I mean, I think in retrospect, the lack of dialogue between Joe and I should have been maybe a tip off that Joe was suspecting me, because people, like we said, kind of put more distance. Like talk with Erin and me right here. Like we both kind of wanted to work with each other. We both have a lot in common, but our just kind of suspicion kind of like drove us apart, right? And so I should have picked up on that, but boy, I was in my own world at that point.
So, because in my retrospect, I'm like, I ruled you out, and I thought everyone ruled me out with Joe's elimination because Joe has totally gone for you and me for at least 3 rounds now. So
yeah, and I did not have information about where people were going. I had no clue where other people were putting their answers. I was just kind of going based off of how I've done and intuition, I guess, at that point. So yeah, it was a surprise to me learning post game that there was a faction that was looking at me, and I think being kind of more lone wolfy was kind of something that helped with that, because I don't think I did a lot of strong explicit sabotages in the challenges. I just sucked naturally at given points. That helped.
naturally incompetent.
Then
But
not
it's a skill.
even walkie, a glue stick, yeah.
Because Emily
Ugh.
Emily, even in her interview, indicated how she had made you her what's the word? Red herring?
Decoy.
Scapegoat, decoy.
Scapegoat.
And did you pick up on any of this at this point in the game?
No, not at all. I did not pick up on what Emily was doing and how she was pushing me. I mean, again, kind of like that round 4, that voting out round. I was like, when I go out, I'm like, this seems appropriate. I feel like I have the least connections to the house. Thank goodness this is not Survivor. I'd be doomed. I have poor social game. Is how people would describe me if this was Survivor.
So,
That's why I'll never play a Survivor. One of the reasons why I'll never play.
So, Emily, go ahead and talk about the time that you were left behind.
Well, that brings us to our next round. Which time are we talking about? Is my question.
Exactly.
We're talking about the one where Joe is elected. People skills. And then you have the group of you, Steven, and Erin. And then it's a group of Lachey, me, and Josh. And Joe can see both the groups.
Yeah, so we go in. Steven, how did you feel me and Erin did in that challenge? You were kind of being pulled by a rope by what we wanted to do.
I feel like you two were very on the same page and like kind of said, we think this. I'm like, well, I'm outruled. I guess we're doing this as the answer. And
the thing is, both of us were very blatantly throwing that challenge, giving very out-of-the-box answers.
Well, because I was also trying to get... I was trying to give bad answers as well. I was trying to give answers that didn't make as much sense. You can say, what is he doing? But like, it was kind of telling when like, you know, who do you want to see eliminated? I'm like, Josh, like, no. We don't want Josh to go. We know he's not the mole. we just want to see Shay go. I was like, oh man, that's a shock to me.
But that makes sense. Like, you know.
Well, from my perspective, I want Josh out because I didn't think it was the mole. And I was like, let's get the people who I know aren't the mole out. So like, you know, that way there's no easy road for people to kind of just mark people off.
Yeah. Then we get sent to the billiards room and we're told, just wait for the next step. The other team's going to go. And then we go, wow, the other crew's taking a long time, guys.
Tim saved us.
And then Tim texts you. I don't know if you texted Tim or Tim texted you. And goes, did you make plans for lunch? And we're just like, wait, what? And we open the door and nobody's there. And then Luke comes in. He was like, oh, they all went for lunch. And we're like, yeah, we know now.
So was the decision to leave Luke back at the house a conscious or unconscious decision?
I just wanted food. I thought you wanted to stay behind. I didn't realize we were abandoning you in that moment, to be honest.
I was trying to avoid Josh.
We invited you.
No, you did not.
Yeah, we did. And you were like, no, I'm good here.
Roll the tape.
I mean, so like that
we
lunch
would have,
was.
but our
That's my
cameraman
favorite
was-
Luke line. Roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
But yeah, being forgotten about twice as a mole, I was like, you know what? I'll use that to my advantage. Guys, they would never forget the mole. Like, main character, obviously. I'm not the mole, guys.
And I
It
don't even
worked
think
out.
about the meta implications at all, to be honest.
So
That challenge we did okay in. Like, we didn't win, we didn't lose. But then it gets to Luke your moment. Everybody do what?
I
Never
don't know
knew the
about
crinkle
this challenge.
crinkle.
What are you
Crinkle.
talking about? This has not been the focus of my game, this challenge at all.
It's the focus of the Sus Squad, because it's really, I think, from talking to all of you, it's the one time we really see the three of you come back together to do something.
Yeah, until the Josh leak at the end. But yeah, I definitely think that was the funnest I've had in the whole entire game. Was
It
putting
did
us all
Shock
together.
me, Luke, that the three of you guys didn't discuss game, knowing that was one time that you knew for a fact nobody was gonna walk in. It was a private time y'all can have a conversation, and instead you guys were doing abstract art.
Well, then you rewatch it, Emily, because we did talk game. Both Erin and I threw Josh so under the bus there. We're like, we see what you're doing. We see you going to everybody and talking and telling everybody everything. Like, and this is why we can't trust you. Like, we're throwing it all out there.
Yeah, for me, like
show.
the arts
Emily-
and crafts challenge.
I
Definitely.
just need to hear how Emily sabotaged this challenge.
So
So it was a
unfortunately,
guessing.
Yes, my group did pretty well that challenge. My main thing was just making sure we didn't guess y'all's right, because y'all were gonna guess ours. There was not a way for me to sabotage artwork when everybody was working, and if I literally just shoot the paper off, they wouldn't notice. So
And
when I
Stephen, did
knew
you
that,
feel the same way? I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when I knew that you guys got the 3 girls, I was like, I'm just gonna keep shouting men, and hopefully you guys also just shout men. Lachey said Tupac started, and then everybody started only shouting men, and I was like, this is great. Let's keep shouting men because I know it's a man. I know it's a female. Luckily, y'all's artwork was already very hard. Yeah,
And I loved the Emily, your insistence that it was Bon Jovi, and now learning that you meant Boy George, it makes more sense. In the moment, I was just like,
It looks like
Frida
who was it?
Kahlo.
Jerry Lewis? No. Oh, I said it. I can't remember his name.
Boy George
he's
wears
still
hats. It looked like Boy George more than it looked like Halle Berry. Sorry.
I mean,
Well,
it
It's
had no
like Frida
face.
Kahlo
The
more
picture
than
had no face.
Look,
It was like
can-
an abstract.
At
No,
1 hour and 43 minutes and 10 seconds, I am saying the record straight that Trish is the one that came up with Frida Kahlo. It was not Josh. It was not everybody else. Trish was so excited to tell us that she was so proud of our Frida Kahlo. So she brought that into the universe.
Yeah, we thought that it kind of looked like Aretha Franklin. John,
As a
and I.
total outsider, I will say that LeBron is so much easier to recognize with the Lakers uniform than Halle Berry, because what is distinctive? I mean, Halle Berry is gorgeous, but in a paper mache, whatever the hell that tissue paper thing is, there's nothing that
Here's the thing.
the
Joe
uniform is not even LeBron. He
listed
could have had no
Halle Berry.
face and just had the uniform, and you'd be like, oh, LeBron James, because Ohio. But
They should have.
I
done
didn't even
Phyllis
know
Diller.
Halle Berry was from Ohio. So
they
I
couldn't
think
name Phyllis Diller if they tried.
They should have
Luke,
done.
your
Phyllis
team
Diller.
had, yes, she has had so many. I mean, she looks amazing in every one of them, but it's so hard to define that, because I mean, even LeBron, you could have put whatever on the face. It was just the uniform that stood out. So I think that your team, Luke, you had a bigger hill to climb in
No,
making.
the
That
viewers,
was a conscious decision on my part, also
And
to
the
have one
viewers
team
agree.
that didn't have an easy option, and so that they
But
couldn't
What were
be
the other
unlikely to
options?
both.
Guy Fieri and someone else.
Miller? Guy
No,
Fieri
ours was
could have had
Phyllis
the
Diller
white
and-
Sarah
hair,
Jessica
and that
Parker
could've-
and Halle Berry.
Yeah, Sarah Jessica
Sarah Jessica
Parker.
Parker is from Ohio too. I just had no idea. I'm not
But
a native.
Steven,
Everyone at some point or another is from Ohio.
I know you could have put a Sheen in there. You could have had like a
Right.
Mighty
Well, I
Ducks
tried.
thing.
Yeah, I tried to get people who had like a distinctive like hairstyle or some, I don't know, but
Allison
But
Janney,
Steven,
come on, you know.
Allison Janney would have been a good one.
when you were in that challenge, did you think, is there any way I can sabotage this too? Or Joe is just such a force that there was no way you could get in there and do anything?
Joe was running the challenge, it was his thing that was happening, and we were just part of it. And Lachey, very straight shooter as well. I mean, I didn't realize people were as annoyed, or like at least in the relative annoyed, were annoyed with my lack of participation or help, because I'm not a visual artist,
Or an artist at all, and that's okay.
That's you found the right field in accounting,
Yeah.
right?
But
there
from
we
my
go.
perspective, it was that they were sus of you, and so they wanted to find reasons that you were sabotaging. So immediately Joe greeted me with his journal of Steven didn't do much. Like, he was ready to tell me why you were the mole. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think you did anything wrong as much as there was confirmation bias
Yeah,
going on in the challenge there.
I mean, and again, because we had something that was more straightforward, there wasn't much room to do stuff. Versus Halle Berry, let's do an X-Men signal. Everyone's like, I'm like, is that a lightning bolt? So I know. I mean, I was hoping we were gonna show our things outdoors, and if there's a threat of rain, maybe if I can get ours wet and destroy it. That may help. But
we should have just gone for it.
I mean,
Done
what the
anyway.
viewers didn't see is the care and love that Erin and I had carrying ours down the stairs to make sure it wouldn't get ruined before we went outside, and to make sure that it was perfectly done outside. Like, we were all in on this picture.
It's a labor of love.
Tim,
No, we had some good reactions from our side viewing y'all's photo, Luke.
so Tim, during this challenge, you and John were visibly shaking the camera with laughter so hard. Our question, I guess the question I have is, was it funny and then you all made it funny that we felt like we were performing? Or is that exactly what you wanted from the challenge? What about that?
It's exactly what it's everything that I wanted from the challenge. Yeah. I loved the whimsy of it. That's all. That challenge is also based / chaos. Yeah. That challenge is based on one that's been done in a couple of international mole seasons. And it's always been, I mean, when they do it like on a billboard, it's a much larger scale, but there's always that kind of element of chaos that goes into it.
No, I like art challenges. I'm just not good in art challenges.
Yeah, and that's the best part about the mole is you don't have to be good in the things.
Right. But I will take any arts and craft challenge over bird sound challenge. So I
would do a
think
bird sound challenge in my sleep.
Yeah, Tim, will there be a well at the next house where people can put their head in to listen to calls from banshees or anything?
There might be. It's on a large lot, so there might be.
It's gonna be exciting.
Would not be shocked.
So Tim, my question for you here is, and maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but it seems like nobody's onto the mole in this challenge. By the time we're here, no one is on to Emily. It's either Steven or it's Luke or it's Erin, but nobody is thinking Emily. Are you applauding in the back of Emily, or are you oh no? What is your thoughts as producer in this situation here?
Oh, I'm thrilled that I feel like if we get to the end and nobody has figured it out, that's boring. That's no fun. But to be halfway or over halfway through and everybody is still, where nobody is locked on the mole at that point, that's awesome. I love that.
You had to have been so excited.
Oh, I was. I think the best thing that can happen which this is also what happened a couple of seasons ago when Matt Gillum was the mole, is that when the very last person that anybody ever suspects is the mole, like every other person had some level of suspicion on them, and then finally somebody, connects the dots, and that's like essentially what happened here. I mean, Lachey was like, tentatively on Emily, but she was not at the top of anybody's suspect list until round 5 or five or 6. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 6.
Yeah. And
because this, like, Joe does so well in the challenge. Lachey's doing well. I'm just like praying it's just not Josh. And so I split. I do my best to kind of split evenly across Luke with Erin and Emily, and kind of saying we'll figure things out going forward. But for now, gonna call a wash here and see what happens.
And so the curse of Luke continues, and Joe is eliminated. And
which for me, I was like, I was like, that didn't really help me. But I was like, all right, let's move on.
And so then we get the opportunity to see some faces from our home life. And Stephen, did you have any strategy in picking your loved one?
I was looking at who had photos of in my phone. It was my brother. It's like, who do I have a photo of alone without me in my phone? My brother. Great, we'll send that. Text Chris, are you okay with this? Yes, perfect. Moving on.
How did I ask? What was like the way that I asked everybody for that? Like, how much context did I give?
Just
I don't even remember.
For a picture of a loved one where
you asked for a loved one, I think.
That was all I said. Okay.
Tim, I mean, not Tim. Luke, I have a bone to pick with you about this.
Okay, this is Stephen's interview, but
I know, but still, the time is right. It's not right now, I guess, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. Pick the bone.
I can't believe you picked Richard's dad. You're like, oh, it's going to be Erin's husband. And then you picked Richard's dad.
What am I telling? I was looking for the young people. My bad.
Are you joking? What?
Erin, I do not know who you're attracted to, but those of you watching this podcast at 1 hour and 53 minutes, it's probably like now you're learning Erin's interests and style of husband. I didn't know that.
No, my husband, my style of husband is not somebody my age's father.
Wow. So all you gilfs out there, Erin is not interested in you.
To be fair, Erin, it wasn't on your dossier.
Listen, Luke, you're my Facebook friend. I feel like you would have known what my husband looked like. Just throwing that out. Anyway,
all the gilfs out there that are interested in younger women, Erin is not interested. That's what I got.
Gilfs. Brienne, oh my God. Anyway, okay, sorry. I feel like, Stephen, you watching this as a viewer, because again, I was out, very much out at this point, and I was not back at the house yet to view. You played it pretty straightforward. You both Emily, you were a little chaotic, but like you played it pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I'm the last one to enter the room because blackjack I feel is just such a game of luck, and so I'm the last one to enter the room, and they're like, you can just move 3 around. So I just matched myself. 2 random ones move out. I'm like, I don't know, constant pass. I don't know. There's like, I look at the host photos and like, boy, Tim picked some really good like facsimiles to choose between, right? And so it's just like, we'll see what happens. It never occurred to me to do what Emily did, and I'm really jealous. I'm like, oh, I wish I had thought of doing something as chaotic as Emily did. Would have helped her change things in the game. I don't know. I think at this point, I don't think I could have drawn.
Well, you were the last one in the room, so it would have. Yeah.
So like, it would have changed.
And also, like, it makes sense because she knew to ask.
Yeah.
Right.
And
whereas, a non-mole would not know them.
So when like we get the reveal that there's been sabotage and like and the change has been revealed that photos were hid, it was kind of like a game of like, all right, who hid the photos? How did this happen? And I think there's it was seemed unclear at the time, was it Josh or was it Emily? Because I felt like from talking with Luke and Erin, they're like, no, it was like this when I got there, or it wasn't like that. And I feel like from a group setting, it was like, oh, it must have been Josh. But then like at this point, Josh is like, I'm playing for myself. I'm not talking to anyone else. And so I go.
Josh is having a meltdown. We're aware. It was one of 30,000 times.
And so I go to Josh, like, Josh, did you do this? Or was it did you do this? Or was it like that when you got there? And Josh tells me the truth, says it was already changed when I got there. And I believe him. And so I'm like, okay, I think Emily did this. And so I kind of think it's Emily who's doing it. But like, again, like at that point, I'm like, I'm not quite on Emily, like 100% Emily on the mole at this point in time. I'm just like, okay, let's file this in the cabinet. We'll make deal with this as is.
And then we go to a warehouse.
This is a fun place.
And so what we're doing is we're passing candy through chopsticks. And even Erin looks right at you in the eye and says, I want to be in a final 2 with you. And you're like, that's cool. I'm in a final 2 with everyone else but Josh at this point. Why not?
Well, okay. Like, I don't think I'd made it was such a shocking thing for someone to say to me. I'm like, you can't shepherd people to the end in this game, right? Unless you know the mole is and tell me who it is, I'm all with you. It's like, how are we making this happen? And of course, Erin thinks I'm the mole, and therefore he's like, all right, he's been working to get close to me all day and like trying to suss me out. So this makes sense. But for me, I'm like, what a baffling experience this is to have someone try to make the final 2 alliance in the mole with me. But like, this was probably the most fun challenge. Well, second most fun. Shopping trip was most fun. Second most fun challenge for me, where like I did some silly things that didn't matter, but which is still kind of fun. So like I almost 95% of the time used my non-dominant hand for chopsticks to move the candy. Erin was out for what seemed like such a long time on his mission that it was just me faring candy. So I'm popping the candy, I'm tossing on the ground, so I'm just doing whatever I want. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
And why didn't Lachey trust you to go get an exemption in Jokers?
For good reason, because I would have taken it. Like I was like, when I'm like, as people are coming back, Erin's like, I had an exemption, I didn't take it. I'm like, whoa.
What?
I was just like, what is happening? Then you come back and say, I was offered 3 Jokers, didn't take it. I'm like, whoa. Then Emily's like, I had stuff, but I didn't take it. I'm like, it was the dream. The 3 people I split on all got sent for a secret mission to do damage. And all of them said, no, I'll be team good. I'm just like, am I the mole? And do I just not know what's going on? What is happening? It was just like, I could not imagine the mole would pass up on that moment. Like, and so like, and Lachey does great. Lachey rocks that challenge. We had so much money. Again, I'm not where it is, but Josh and I don't really have a chance to do much damage. So I'm just like constantly like, I split on 3 people. All of them did team good guy. What is happening? It was just, I was just kind of like,
question for you.
Yes.
Do you think Josh also would have done great on that challenge? I mean, he did volunteer to be captain.
I think had Josh been captain, I think he would have done fine.
I think he was
Josh.
Who would you have chosen as the 3 people if you had been the captain, Stephen?
Not Josh. Is the answer. I think I would probably pick the exact 3 people to see how they responded, to be honest. So I would probably send
Luke,
Emily, Luke, and Erin.
Oh, Erin. Oh, right.
But
Erin, yeah.
order matters so much in this challenge because
Which I didn't realize, which I wouldn't have thought about, to be honest.
Yeah, because had Erin not gotten the exemption and then give that up for like 20 whatever, like that whole challenge changes. Like if Erin grabs the exemption and it comes back and says, I didn't find anything, then that sets both me and Emily up for also not finding anything. But Erin comes back and he's like, I found it all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, yeah, that's true. Like, Erin set a tone that was hard, that really changed things. So if all 3 of you go and all 3 take it, I kind of say, it's the mulligan. Like, I don't get right from this. But it was, I guess, for me, more stunning that all 3 didn't. I was like, why is it the case? And I felt like at the time, Erin was really clear about why he didn't do it. You were clear as well. You had the secret Joker no one knew about. And for me, it was like I had to go talk to Emily post challenge and say, "Hey, what happened there? What was the decision?"
And
so
I thought I was being sneaky, grabbing the 1 Joker. the one Joker to save my life.
Yeah, I mean, it was the smart thing to do.
So Lachey gets eliminated, and that night, Josh has a Josh meltdown, and you
That's
were
only
the
this.
and you were the only person that gets to witness this besides myself.
Oh, that's
And
true.
I've gotten to
And
think this
Luke
whole
emerges as the main character at this
no, but
point.
I'm like, am I crazy? Is this kid just melting down at every moment? So Steven, the floor is yours. Walk you through the Josh Luke drama of that night when we were
Because
studying.
I didn't see it. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah,
I
so
want to
this
hear
is like
your view on this.
so. I'm gonna kind of backtrack a little bit before getting into this. So we take the quiz, and at this point, I'm just like, I had that conversation with Emily, where Emily's like, I did not take the thing because I felt like I need social maneuverability for tomorrow and didn't want to be ostracized. And I'm just like, okay, it's final six. There's really like such little people left. I either have an idea or I don't. And I just tell John, like, all right, YOLO, let's all in. And I end up selecting Emily as like, I think she's the likeliest of the three at this point in time. Take the quiz. I don't get eliminated. I'm kind of stunned. I don't hold this as like I've solved it. I'm just like, everyone else could be wrong too. Just like everyone else can be very, very wrong. And I'm just here by sheer luck. Like I'm not taking this as a congrats. Like I've won the game. And so, that night, like I'm just like gotta study, like gotta get my head down and work. And you and I go upstairs to the sauna to kind of work through things. And this is where like I'm kind of seeing parts of the you, Josh, and Emma, because Josh comes up as like, Luke, come down. Luke, come do beer pong with us. Luke, I want you to do this. You're just like, no, Josh, I can't do this. And there's just like this like tug of war between like what they want. I'm just like this is awkward.
Yeah, because he was definitely like, I just don't want you to be mad at me. Can you just come down and play beer pong? And I'm like, Steven and I are studying right now. You can join us. No, why would I study? I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, and like and it was during this day, like we go at the dinner that night, and like Josh like does this amazing thing and just like covers us for the meal. It was just like it was like I don't know, I was like, when we had the question the other day, like who would you want to see win? I was like, like I would think Josh would be an amazing winner to see someone get to the game like with bereft of information that all the rest of us have and pull off a victory would be such an amazing comeback story. And so like I'm rooting for Josh, but I also like I still want to win myself.
Yeah, I just wondered because I was like, what is wrong with him? And you'd be like, oh, and Erin in the next challenge went here. And I'm like, okay. So we're studying, which I'm good, but I'm like, did you not catch that whole interaction where he's like losing?
It just felt so awkward. I was like, I'm like the fly them all like, hi, I'm here. I'm so sorry.
Like,
I should have been saying, it's like, Luke, go down, do all the beer pong, don't study. It's fine. You know it. I should have been pushing you to do it.
So
I'm just imagining like how quickly I would lose my mind if I was playing a mole game. Like I would have a meltdown.
I felt like something.
Have you never played a mole game?
Not a live one. I played an online one. That one was based in
I'm like shook right now.
Yeah, no, it was based in Belgium, and I was the runner-up. But we had to get up at like 4. I had to get up at like 4 in the morning to do challenges.
That's dedication.
It was and it was all in Dutch. I mean, they like if I needed them to say something in English, I would But
I mean, I feel like you would need that often, right? Like instructions. What are we doing right now?
Well, no, I mean, I could get. Yeah, I speak Dutch.
Oh,
you speak Dutch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That changes things.
And that is today's fun fact.
I know.
I taught myself Dutch so that I could watch the mole, He's the Mole, and the Mole without subtitles. So
wow.
That's
I have to watch English shows and subtitles
for that, and then also because we had to have a third language for grad school, so that was just like 2 birds, 1 stone there. So
what's the second language?
French.
I mean,
my Dutch is better than my French now. But
and yeah, in retrospect, Tim, we should have had cameras going at all times. But
I was talking to somebody I was talking to somebody at Tri-State Traders who was actually in a mole game with Brienne earlier before the Mole Ohio, and he was saying how they at the the game that they were at, they had cameras going like just basically 24/7.
Oh my
But
goodness.
it never got edited. Like episodes have not been made. But I know, and I even like softly volunteered, like I would possibly be willing to help with that if you wanted to pass that along.
Well, for a one-man team, right? It's like there's only so much content you want to sift through, but I do think like
That
we
is
all
true.
have phones, right? And so
Well,
like,
I will try my best to be there as much as I can this summer and film the hell out of
I'll
it.
be there the whole time.
Trish is gonna bring like room microphones, like the
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. And Luke will be there the whole time. But
And
what
Luke will be there the whole time, yes.
But what I don't think there was ever a situation where I would have thought I'm in bed wearing a tank top, laying under a blanket,
the world needs to see.
studying with
Missed out on so
Steven.
much sleeping downstairs. Sleeping
And
on
let
the
me go
couch.
ahead and pull out my phone right now because Josh is about to come make good TV
No, right,
while
exactly.
we're sitting here.
Yeah.
I will say in terms of sanity, Tim, it was weird having a game where I had my cell phone, but it felt nice. I did call a friend or family member each night and kind of talk, and they're like, "How are you doing?" I'm like,
Good.
"I don't know, I'm still here." But it was like a nice kind of brief like break away from the game to talk to someone, even like because they can't help you, but just like I say, "Hey, I can just like kind of talk," and like that I felt because Survivor, like you lose your mind because you're like it's like there's these people that you can trust, but not sort of, but not really, and yeah.
Yeah, my little human liked hearing from me.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are we supposed to do? Like, I think, and I'm not going to give a shout out here to Empires and Puzzles, a fun game to play on your phone. But there was one point Tim wanted me, and I was like, I need to finish this war I'm in right now, and then I'll be ready.
Well, and part of the reason why Steven thought I was
Because the Monopoly game.
Because I was playing Monopoly, and I was like, I just need to like have a moment. I needed a moment to myself because it was like so much going on and I was overloaded. And so, yeah.
Was it relaxing or was it just like...
It was sort of like relaxing and dissociating a little bit. It was like a little time out for me because it was like, there's so much happening and like so many people were like talking and doing stuff. And I was just like, none of this affects me kind of because this game... everybody can like implode right now. And that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with my outcome. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, I just need a moment.
So we wake up from the Luke Josh drama and it is time for us to play a memory game and go.
I mean, like, I don't think memory is my strongest suit. I was surprised I lasted as long as it is. When I saw Erin doing his mnemonics with like the body motion and stuff, that I was like, that's really smart. I probably should just copied him immediately. But it worked out because I still got to go even though I lost. I mean, I don't know if it helped at all that my answers were so terrible in this challenge without realizing it. Like, I don't know, like I think at this point, like you were switching to Emily. It's just mathematically I was on Emily, Josh is on you, I guess Erin's on me, so it did help. But like I just gave such funny terrible answers, and as soon as I learned what was the real challenges, I'm like, well, I guess that works. I mean, from talking with Erin, I wish I had been more aggressive and open to like doing weird stuff in the challenge to help lean him into thinking more of me. But at this point, I think Luke and Erin are my biggest competition. I am very concerned that they've known about Emily forever. Like, so I'm not even considering the fact that Erin is looking at me as the threat, which is why he took me, which again, I maybe should have picked out more. I was just like, hey, we've had really good conversation. I enjoy hanging out with him. This is fun. And like, he's pitched this final 2 deal, and he's like, he's kind of trying to pitch me Emily as a mole suspect, which has me worried that someone's pitching the person I actually do think is the mole. But yeah, that challenge was definitely one of the highlights of the game. We can't run, but still was a very entertaining experience of finding very weird stuff at a Walmart, which with Trish kind of giving running commentary.
I just wonder what people were thinking, what was going through people's mind. I mean, probably nobody was paying attention really. I don't know, but that's just kind of what I'm always wondering about with that, and also with the panorama challenge. Like, what are the passersby, the gentle folk of Wilmington thinking?
What are as peasants thinking through this challenge? I was thinking, what's a word that ends with that word that was just said before me?
And I was not able to put a barcode on myself and try to check myself out. So that
Oh,
was
you mean the
firmly
locals.
set in the
The
ground.
I meant the locals. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a little slow to that one.
It's late. It's fine.
Yeah. So, so I think coming out of these challenges, right? Like, oh, we have the mystery bag or the advantage challenge, right?
Right.
Featuring Benjamin. Yes.
Featuring Benjamin from the Mole UK, not the Mole UK, the Genius UK.
Genius game.
Love him.
Yeah, and Erin, by the way, if you need the bounce, do whatever you want. Thank you for to steal 2 hours of your evening and plus.
I know I'll hang out for a little bit longer, but then it's my bedtime because I'm overdue for sleep.
Yeah, podcasts are a marathon, not a sprint.
I know.
We'll wrap up soon, and so
do not do that for me. I'll hang out for a little bit and then I'll just Irish goodbye it. But know that I love you all.
I guess I didn't really realize for that bag challenge that we wouldn't have one-on-one meetings with everybody, and so I was so confused. I was like, oh, these are the only two we're talking to. Like, well, shoot, I maybe should have done it differently. I really try to think what would Josh think I was going to do and psych him out, and then Josh clocked me anyways. That was only when Josh clocked, which was
so.
Funny.
Was there any part of you that was against the Emily Luke idea of making Josh in charge of everything all day? Since Josh
I was actually happy letting Josh be in charge of stuff that day because I felt a little bad that we just shut him down so much the previous day. I felt a little guilty about that, and so I was like, yeah, let's make Josh in charge. And we gave Josh the worst roles ever the entire day. We had no power, which was even kind of ironic in a sense.
So, ideally, did you get what you wanted with the Jokers, or was that just chance? Or
I wanted security in case everyone was going all in on Emily and everyone was getting perfect scores. I wanted this. I wanted to make sure I had a higher score in case everyone else was going all in too, and it was on the right track to get myself the next round. So that's what led me to your
so from your perspective, you thought Luke, Josh, Erin, that's it. We're all in on Emily, and you just needed to stay above that.
Yeah, I mean, the only inkling I had your strategy is Lachey goes out, and you kind of declare, I went all in Lachey. I've been going all in all these rounds. I'm like, whoa, really? That's the only idea I have about you. And I'm like, again, the man who wears the mole shirt, I'm like, I don't know what to believe here. I don't believe you're playing as straight up as you actually are. And so I really I'm worried that everyone knows I'm late to the party, and I need security to ensure that if that is the case, I can get to the next round. So that leads me to the Jokers, though. I am tempted by the journals just in case to deny some information.
But would you have grabbed, do you think you would have learned anything if you had the journals, knowing that, or you think you would just left them alone?
I mean, knowing how my game worked out, I think I would have, it either would have hurt or I would just heavily discounted anything I read there.
Can I jump in here for a second? Mm-hmm. Because as a viewer, because again, not in the game anymore.
Drink.
What would my journal I'm just back though. I'm saying I feel like what would the people who lost because they did not have their finger on the pulse of who the mole was? Yeah. Why would you find value in that? I guess you could look at who they voted for.
Yeah.
Or were leaning towards and discount them.
I mean, if they had a table like this, kind of
sure, but there were so few people left in the game that chances are they were leaning it because they lost. If they were picking people still in the game, they maybe would have been there still, right?
Yeah. That's why,
to me, I was like, Erin was like, I think and I'm like, why? I feel like that's a compelling because it's data, but it's not necessarily good data.
That's the professor.
Yeah. I know. Sorry. Sometimes
I think he liked that he liked seeing that the different kinds of notes that people were people were taking notes on different kinds of. No, I know. I agree. It was not helpful. But
I mean, I think it's it's
a
compelling grab to be like, well, you can have all this information from other people, but it's information from your fallen soldiers, and what are they really giving you because they have they're out. You've
Well, and
survived
especially like with Erin, who had really good notes and a really good memory. Like so, I could see like if somebody
I was
like
like, I feel like this is just going to deter you, man.
like I could see like if you're somebody who doesn't have like the best,
right, like Josh, maybe
like
I love
Josh,
you,
yeah,
Josh.
maybe would
I
have
love you,
that
but
would have been like helpful because you could look at like what they wrote for the dossier.
If I were to give a very chaotic suggestion, if you were to bring this back, instead of giving back the eliminated players' journals, they get the current players' journal.
Players.
Nobody else gets their journal to study for that round.
I think, or even just like a certain amount of time to view them or something, because that is definitely, if you're trying to give an advantage.
I would panic.
I
would have panicked and not let the pages out.
I'd have to, and that would be good. And I'd have to make sure in advance to tell the mole, like, hey.
I mean, if the prize was our journals,
yeah.
I just go on that and say either I get all the journals or no one does.
Right.
Sure. I mean, I think
world
for them,
nobody else gets their journal that round.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you use the eliminated players' journals the right way, they could help you discount. But you're banking on the fact that like they were discounting people still in the game, like they were betting on people still in the game, and that's why.
Yeah, I think that you would just really like Lachey's would be the most useful.
Well, Lachey apparently circled Emily as the mole, right? And
but like anybody who was picking Luke and was out of the game, okay, chances are maybe it's not Luke then, or Josh and out of the game, Steven out of the game. Like my journal would have been helpful for Steven, but it's not going to lead you. It's going to give you like. Reasons
it's gonna give you doubt.
Yeah, but it's not going to necessarily point to the person, because if Lachey was going in on Emily enough, Lachey would have still been in the game.
But if
do you think it would be more beneficial to see every eliminated player's last confessional filmed rather than the journal? They just get the last confessional.
Mine was
I
don't want to leave. I don't want to get out.
Like their exit confessional, like after they've been eliminated or before?
But the one they had right before they got eliminated.
Mine would have been useless. Mine was just me panicking up in your
and a final five. If you still were like, I don't know who it is, if you're still splitting between two, and you go through a journal and that player has ideally written down this suspect list in some way, and you go, oh, their number one suspect is still in the game and I didn't go so far in on them, I think that's value. Right. But then what I think is interesting about the journals is you can't even trust what's written in the journal. Was that written before or after?
Right.
And so like the whole Lachey writing Emily is the mole and circling it, if I had a brain and I was looking at that, I'd go, well, Lachey's gone. Oh, it can't be Emily now.
Yep.
Versus, now I've been given the answer. Because
Lachey was circling it, but was not in the game anymore.
I want to give Erin some props.
He goes, well, this is confirmation. Emily can't be the mole because Lachey said that Emily was the mole and Lachey's out.
Right.
Because you don't know when she let's say it was circled in the last entry. You never know if it was because you didn't confiscate. I took my journal home, I think.
Steven,
I was inconsistent with when I.
Yeah, I took mine home. When I got home, I threw it out. I was like, I'm done. So mine wasn't even in there. So that would have been telling, because I went in on Steven every time, and that would have been helpful. And so it's helpful if you use it in the right way.
Yep.
And this is not to I love Erin, but I feel like it's something that it's like a very shiny, gleaming prize that can distract you very easily. And I think the rest
and also just I think it would be I can see how
we went hard on we went hard in on those postcards, deciphering them up in the room where we thought there were two moles.
I also just for me, I think it would be fun to look through everybody's notebook. Not even in a game way. I would just be oh, this is how people are using
I was told mine was very well organized, and I had the best layout of everybody's information.
I should
And
show you
I
my
think the other
trader's
thing
notebook
that
was a
I think
mess.
the other thing that Erin said that we should respect is that, well, I didn't have this detail from that dossier written down, and now I can go find it in someone else's journal. So
Right.
So what I love about Aaron the game is he just exuded this calm confidence that I believed through the entire game that Aaron knew
Yeah.
everything was going on and what he was doing. And so when Aaron walks in the room and says, I changed everything. And one thing I look back at the game, Aaron just said wild stuff out loud in public. And like it was just like makes me laugh now because like I just felt like I believed everything he said in the game. Like when he was in these public settings, so he's like I changed everything. This is the best version. I was like, oh my gosh, really? I was like, holy smokes, I messed up. I shouldn't have given him this. Like I loved how Aaron presented himself in the game, and like really, I'm just like from like early on, like, oh no, Aaron's like locked in the finals. This is the problem.
I played a game with Erin before, and there was a lot of consistency in that, like kind of running a room and having like, I don't want to say control because that sounds bad, but like definitely like, yeah, that calm confidence of like, okay, this is what we're going to do right now. This is what we're going to talk about. I'm going to do this. Like, yeah, it was very consistent. So I was like, what's going on here?
And so like, I think, for me, the two biggest shocks of the game, like, I'm sorry, Danny, Brian, I think you're 3. Erin, you're first. Other Erin is second. I was floored when he gets eliminated this round. I really expected you racing at the end with him. I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, and so like I go all in on Emily. I go all in on you again because I'm just like, well, it worked the first time. I guess I'm here praying it works the second time. I don't really have a lot of good data or reasons to switch at this point. But yeah, him going out, I was like, oh my gosh. And then it's a final 4, not a final 3. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, I just remember sitting there going, okay, and who's the second eliminated?
Yeah. I mean, it's
maybe next season I'll do a final 3 again. We'll see.
Yeah, no, and so like because I didn't know it was like, it's time. Do we just want a final 4? I'm like, I'll take it. Here I am. And so
yeah, I mean, that time I had planned on a final 4. The previous season it was a impromptu final 4. Yeah.
So this was a planned finale with 4.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so
yeah, what's really interesting about our final 4, and I'm sorry, I'm taking over. I will throw this right back to Steven. But it's interesting that Steven and I were so in on Emily at this point. Josh still isn't on Luke. So if we had one more elimination, it would have been Luke, Steven, and Emily. And who knows? Who knows what the world would have held.
My favorite thing of this last day was weird places I studied. Emily caught me studying on the stairwell a lot because it was like somewhat out of the way, away from people, because there's people downstairs on the couch. I studied in the upstairs loft with Josh and Luke to some extent, but then I was like, I think I need some quiet time as like I memorized Emily's life history right here. Yeah, it's just weird places I'm trying to find myself where I could like have space to just like put my nose in the book and like memorize favorite author, favorite music, favorite this, favorite quote, favorite everything. Where'd she
we should still talk about Josh Gad at this point. Like when I hear Emily, I hear Josh Gad in my head. For how many times I studied Emily, and like I was listening to the Book of Mormon soundtrack on the way to Thanksgiving, and I'm like, Josh Gad, Emily's favorite.
I think from the last 2 challenges, like bit of disasters, all of them, that's fine. I think I feel like I never felt confident, Emily, that you were the mole until you did like, here's why I'm the mole speech. I'm like, yeah, you persuaded me. it's like in that moment, it's like, all right, I feel comfortable with going all in the finals with you as the mole after your speech. So I was like, I feel like this is her kind of saying like, this is my game and I'm selling you on my mole game.
You mean I just
thought at that point everybody thought it was a mole anyways. I quite literally thought it was going to be all three of you guys going all in on me. Did I expect Josh to go on Luke? No. And when I found that out, I was like, no way I tricked somebody thinking I wasn't the mole at the end.
Well, girl, you're looking at me going, I'm so sorry. I'm like, girl, I've known you've been the mole all day. Like,
it was a short day.
and
Which is
Josh
why
is
I was
applauding
trying to do
me.
the makeup.
But I'm just like, that is one of my favorite moments. And Emily, you did it in your interview. I did it in my interview. Steven, the military-esque walking as the winner is definitely a highlight that should have been caught on camera.
Wait, Tim, you got to use that for one of your days. The behind-the-scenes footage of us in the back.
There's not as much of it as I had
Thank
hoped.
goodness.
There isn't Steven going.
I'll look back at it. Maybe there was, and it was just like just stuff that wouldn't fit in the episode, and so I discounted it. I don't know, but
It is
Tim,
literally.
I did exactly what Tim told me to. Tim's like, you get the text, you go to the door. I'm like, yes, sir. I'll do
But
that.
oh, I got
you did a
that.
perfect
Yeah, that's
90 degree. You didn't
90
even
degree,
like
yeah.
you did a perfect pivot on the shoe.
That
He
is on
didn't even
camera. Yeah.
smile. He was not smiling. He had like a straight, like, he looked upset that he won at first.
I mean,
Like I thought he was about to join the Navy. Like
I was so surprised. You know, I came in thinking like, you know, I can be the first one out, and that's okay, right? There's just such high variance, you know.
Mhm.
I've gone on it all in survive, but that doesn't mean I'm correct, right? There's still such a chance I'm wrong. I'm like, so like I'm not like I'm confident at the end, but I'm just like I know my competition, and so like I just don't know what's gonna happen at the end here. I just don't know the score. So like I was very stunned and just kind of like Tim said line up, I'm gonna go line up.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to
realized
war.
There's time for me to also hug and say, oh, like congrats, I'm so sorry, etc. Like, yeah, I didn't realize it was like, gotta get the door.
No, he grabbed a pool cue and he held it on his arm like it's hold like a gun.
No,
Walked
and at
over.
that point, I was still pretending to like be nervous. I'm like, oh my god, and it's just the two of you guys going, this girl's faking that ass shit right there. Like, why is she pretending to be scared?
Right,
So-
but Josh at this whole time, and this is such a good behind the scenes, is applauding me. Like he's like, good job, you. And Emily's over there like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, Emily, quit the bullshit. Like we've known you've been mole all day.
You pushed me to the front of the line because once Steven walks up, I'm like, what? And then you're like,
Yeah, I do have that. That is on camera. Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
I
and
can
Josh
put that
is
as
over
one
there
of
like, what? You're the mole. Congratulations. Steven's smarter than I am. And I'm like, and I mean, I don't want to degrade because Emily, you did fantastic, but it was like the minute Emily's putting on the dress that she's been planning for 3 days with the perfect makeup, and all the rest of us are sitting in like rags.
well, I watched you do that. I was like,
I was a little
I was like, I
disappointed
really
that
should
more
practice
people
it.
didn't. Yeah.
I
We
really
were
should
told
practice it.
to bring-
Yeah.
we were told to bring a nice outfit for the final. The people last season, they looked nice in the final. What the fuck were you
all
on doing?
nice too. No, yeah, no.
Yeah, the three of us were like, oh, look, there's 3 homeless people and this beautiful woman. I wonder who the mole is.
I mean, I broke out jeans and a collared shirt. That's like a concession to my life.
Brianna's right. Women listen.
Look, and we weren't gonna have
That's
a woman
why
leader.
women win the mole.
And except this season, when you have a woman as the mole.
Sorry. So like in the last day, I'm like, you kept giving Tim grief about this. And I'm like, I feel really bad for Tim right now. As you kind of like, I get like about the woman winner. I'm like, I think she's the mole. I think she's just like needling him because she can.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was
It was
bound to
my
happen.
job. it was
Sooner or
my
later.
job to give Tim shit, and I'm so sorry that I was part of the reason why the curse was broken. Well, not the
No,
curse.
I think
tradition
Emily,
was broken.
killer mole.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
the whole game. Like you cannot ask for a better mole than Emily. Cheers, rooting for you.
Oh, I'll drink for that.
Mhm.
Even cheers.
Yeah, I mean,
And Emily, you know this because of our private conversations. Because it turns out we all talk. My coworker when Emily got announced as the mole, was still in shock. He's like, "You weren't the mole? It was Emily." Like, he literally sitting there floored. And I text Emily this. Emily's like, "Have him make a comment."
Yeah, because nobody was commenting about my mole skills. You cannot tell me that you thought I was the mole viewer. Y'all were so off, and all of a sudden, me being the mole didn't matter. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there's as far as I know, only one viewer that I am aware of had you clocked early on, and I actually played he was at Tri-State Traders.
No, not even early on. It was like towards like still the end when they're.
Which one thing I like is that matches what happened to Luke and I. Like, we only kind of came to the conclusion of the mole, Emily, at the tail end of the season, right? That was a long time coming. Even then, like, I was like, I don't know, but I guess I'll try and see what happens. Like, I didn't go all in like feeling very confident. I was just like,
right,
I'm here already. I'm frustrated. Let's just give it a shot. And see what happens.
And like Survivor, the
Sorry,
little
Steven,
details.
you did not get as much money as you should have.
But like Survivor, like some small little thing just changes the whole game. If Steven and I aren't roommates here, I wonder how the game is different.
right.
Like, do I think Steven's the mole? Does Steven think I'm more the mole? Because I'll go on record and say, whether you agree or not, just us being roommates helped eliminate me versus keep me in the picture, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I didn't have a roommate.
Yeah, no, it's and like so. It's hard to know how things would have changed if things went differently. If what if Joe wasn't in the season, the other player that was supposed to be there would have? How would that have changed things? Because Joe, I think, had a huge influence in how like that social game kind of played out in the house too. Brienne, Luke was clear night one. He was talking so much about his thoughts. As he's saying stuff, Brienne are just like, we're trying to sleep. We're not helpful.
Which, Brienne, is exactly what I'm saying. But so why is Steven still thinking I'm the mole on day 3? Right?
Because Erin goes out, and what choice do I have? I'm like, all right, like who?
I agree with you.
Suspects. Who's going? Who do I have here?
But then again, like, and I'm not trying to spoil production here. When they tell Lachey that my Joker is why she went out, and she's holding that against me and Josh still thinks I'm the mole. So I don't know.
I don't know that. I don't think I told Lachey who had the Joker.
No, but
she probably
played
figured
that
it out.
Joker literally 10 minutes later in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember I pull it out. I do this big. I have a Joker.
Oh, okay, yeah. She saw you pull it out. Okay.
Yeah. So I agree. Like, but yet people still thought it's mole because I'm like, yeah, I've cleared with Brienne. I'm cleared with Steven. Like, there's no way they think I'm the mole at this point.
Yeah, and I probably could have written you off earlier, but like after Erin going out, I was like, I can't do that again. I can't let confirmation bias or Roman I'm going with. And I was like, the 3 people who I think have the most.
As well, you can't write people off.
Yeah,
it's hard to say yes. I could have written you off. You actually have no idea what the mole is doing.
Yeah,
and who the mole is connecting with. So
again,
the mole is a hard game. It is not an easy game.
I mean, because even Emily, even postseason in our podcast, when I said, "Here's the list of Emily's greatest hits," you're like, "That's about 80%." It's like even everything I know, like it's like I still missed a fraction of your game.
Here we are at 2:33:39. If you're watching this, people, I've learned from this. Next time I play a mole game, I'm going to say all my thoughts that night if I'm the mole because I thought it was such a clearing thing.
And you're gonna wear the not the mole shirts.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing is there's so many different ways to play it as the mole. Like you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my takeaway is stay open. I mean, there is a time to go in, but I think I don't feel pressure to do so. I always feel like when people say I'm going all in, I'm like, are you trying to pressure me to go all in as well? Yeah, I think that was. I don't know. I think like any game, luck it definitely played a role. But being open.
No, you definitely were the deserving winner. Emily was a fantastic mole, and Luke and Josh are that would they, won't they, Rachel Ross of the season. So I will tell you, Josh and I are seeing each other now, and no, that's an Easter egg if Josh decides to watch this at 2 hours and 34 minutes.
We love you, Josh.
Meh.
He's okay.
But no, honestly, nominate us for all the LRG awards because Slay season, amazing, fantastic. I don't know what I could be nominated as, but nominate me.
Best mole.
There is no best mole LRG award.
Yes, we'll make it happen.
And I know we're just talking now. Erin's gone, so we don't have to worry about the tension of us going too long now. But Emily's thing, like, she gave this confessional about, okay, this round, here are the cards, and then they've laid this way this round. And I thought that was such a good descriptor of our game because Emily and I are working together this round. Okay, next round, Luke and Josh are working together. Okay, this round, Steve and Emily are working. I mean, it just literally, once we got to final 7, that's what the game was.
Yeah, it was very like the shifting sands of,
And I remember, like, my thoughts were, like, I wasn't joking about the Steve and Josh alliance of final 2 because I said everyone here has a final 2 that they've kind of made except for Steven and Josh. So you two need to kind of do this because Emily's talked to Josh, Luke's talked to Josh, Erin's talked to Josh, Luke's talked to Erin, Emily's talked. Like, we would all have those conversations.
Josh, our conversation went, Josh, I don't trust anything you're saying. Neither do I. Why are we having this conversation? Josh, go away. That was our conversation we had.
I looked at Emily, I'm like, I trust you full out. And you're like, I'm going in on Steven. I'm like, Joe's gone. Why are we still going in on Steven? I'm confused. And I wonder, Tim, if Steven had gone in on Emily, Emily had said Luke, Luke had said, no, I had it in my head earlier. That would you have had us all 4 out there and you would have said the real mole is and had them step forward, or we still have done it behind scenes? If everyone guessed differently.
If everyone guessed differently. I probably still would have done. I think I would have just done the doors because that's like so like iconic. Yeah.
I thought you were going to do it where you announce a win, like in the billiards room, announce the winner, and then the 3 of us were behind a different door, and that's.
Yeah, I thought about that, but it's like hard to get. You have to like go through the kitchen to get to the. I don't know. Yeah, it would
because let's say Imagination Land, like where all of our dreams come true. That it was the final 3, and Steven had gone me, I had gone Emily, and therefore Emily goes Steven. Do you still announce the winner, or do you have all 3 of us and you go, the mole is Emily, and then Steve and I look at each other and hug awkwardly, or like, I don't know.
I think I would still do. Yeah, I know what you mean. Though I would still do the door. I think just for like the reveal because I think it's fun. I think it's also fun to like reveal the winner first, and then reveal the mole.
To be fair, at least it was more eventful this season than last season because last season, after the winner was announced, one person was already confirmed. Not the mole.
Yeah. Which is why I had to do the final 4.
Yeah, Richard.
And also kind of why I built in a final 4 this time in case there were just like in case there were weird shenanigans.
Oh man, we really should have tried Brian.
Riley would have came out with $101.
Yeah. See, if he was a poker player, then things could have been.
I haven't had time on camera to thank you, but I thought you just did such a great job editing this. And all the production that went behind this, and it was beautiful. And I almost think we're spoiled as a cast because you look at what a great job you did with the editing that I don't think there's another LRG out there that you're like, oh, this is good. I want to show my friends. I want to show my family. They can follow along. So I really do appreciate it. And I think you did a great job.
Also, LRG, just saying, Tim picked me and Josh up from the airport an hour away from the house.
Well, part of that is because we're in the middle of nowhere. But yes, yeah.
Okay, no, the middle of nowhere is in western Kansas.
Right.
And Tim dinner and lunch.
Yeah, no, I was so excited to be part of the cast. I mean, I know as initially in the alternate pool, I got moved in pretty early, and so I was so excited to just give a mulligan a shot from a different perspective. I was so nervous and scared. Like, I played the mole, but how do you play an agent, and what will that look like? And I think, like most games, like the first time you play, it never kind of ends up being how you'd expect. You never kind of do what you kind of envision. And so I know I came to you, like, I think night 3, and I just, like, thank you. And I said thank you. I was saying thank you again for not only for the chance to play such an awesome game with such an amazing cast, so the people who I've like really grateful met, but to again take the time to get a season together before the school begins. It's a huge commitment of your love for what you do, and thank you for giving us something to rally around. I really appreciate
It was so much fun.
You're about to have
And
kids
Glad.
around camera, guys.
And I mean, it's just crazy because, like, yeah, like you really killed it, and I recommend this to everyone. I wish my friends and family would be more interested in playing, because I'm like, go play them all. 'Cause it's just, and if I have to tell my coworker, and if you're watching this, Erin, at 2
Wait,
minutes and 41
who changed
seconds,
who changed my headline thing? I did not do that. That was
I did that like an hour ago.
I did not put that as my
say,
I'm sorry, go yeah.
oh, I would put it. Like, I told my coworker 100 times, we don't vote off the mole. Like, he's like, what happens if you vote off the mole? We don't vote off the mole.
Right.
Oh, they're coming for you. They're going to vote you off. That's not how this game works. Like, and we watched this during my prep period, like, for 3 weeks, and still like, oh, what if they vote you off? Are you still the mole? I'm like, this is not how the game
It's
works.
hard because, like,
You're
I
getting
think, like,
traders mixed up.
right. Well, I think also, like sometimes people are like will say, like, how they answer their question is like that's their vote, like that's who I'm voting as, who I think the mole is. And so I think that gets confusing for people too who are watching. But yeah, yes, everybody should watch this season. Everybody should apply for next season.
Well, if you watch the season, you just got a major spoiler alert.
Oh right, yeah, I guess, yeah. Yes, but hopefully, yeah. But you should still watch it. It's still fun to watch while spoiled, I think.
It really
I want
is.
to ask Steven, what's next for you?
Did we talk
Are
about this
we
in
at
your
the Luke
podcast?
record? We're at the Luke record. Okay, we can continue.
Not my personal record, 3 hours and 45 minutes, but we're not allowed to hit that.
We're not
record.
I
doing
don't think
that
we're hitting
tonight.
that. No, I'm not anyway.
I gotta go home and pack.
Oh, you're at work too?
Does this look like I'm at work right now, Steven?
She has an allergy she's preparing for. She's the mole this weekend. Go ahead, Steven. What's next for you?
I'm
mole
not
is
going to play a mole game
Orlando.
next year. I'll toss some applications in for Survivor games. Survivor has always been kind of the one true love. There's nothing better than starving in the middle of nowhere while sleeping on the dirt. Really,
I can
like
think of a couple
that's
things
still
better.
like living for me.
There's a couple of things better than that.
Hold on. What the Survivor game are you promoting? So I know to apply for it.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to name the game. I've
Name Steven.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'll probably play the Can You Survive. I'll probably play the Survive. All the games that have the word Survive in the title. I'll probably toss an application, see what happens, and who knows if people will come after me for winning a mole game now. That'll be kind of entertaining. Like, he's a winner, vote him out. I'm like, I get swap screwed at the merge so much. You don't need to worry about me.
Well, you've been the mole. You've been an agent. What do you want to be next, Steven?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like I've had kind of the dream duo mole games where I've taken I've been the key role, and then I've won a game, and it's like, I'll definitely want to play another mole game someday, and I'll accept, like, I'm not going to win that one. Like, no, there's
You can be first boot.
shot.
I
can be first. There we go.
Like, do you feel your mole experience has been complete because you've been a winner and a mole?
Which I feel like really blessed and lucky to have that kind of experience. Like, it's so, like, being the mole was such a stressful, difficult, challenging thing to do that I never anticipated. And, like, I made such a strong friendship with Jamie, and then, like, made Jamie lose. And we had an hour-long conversation post game, figuring out, like, what just happened? Like, are we friends? Was any of this real? Like, that was such a wild experience, which I was proud of and really happy of. To go to playing a game and being like, all right, I've seen this, I've seen the other side, I know how brutal this can be, and like to actually do well was like really, really nice to see. Because like, again, I've lost a lot of games.
But ultimately, do you feel like the social relationships in the mole are different from the social relationships in Survivor?
Survivor, the betrayal in Survivor makes it hard, right? That's the most gut-wrenching part, is like you make friends and you vote them off, or you have to break, or you have to betray people, and then there's and like this is more an issue on returning seasons and new player seasons. Like, how do you navigate that kind of destruction of trust that you built between them? Like in this game, like that wasn't the mold that like Emily probably feels more of that. I don't know. You can speak to that in terms of like you built these relationships, and like JK, it's all a lie.
I think it's different because that is the game, and it's not targeted. It's not targeted like betrayal. Targeted like you're not eliminating people.
Yeah.
Which that was what was hard for me when it was in the traders as a trader, was like sniping people.
I guess I felt when I played the mole that little betrayer, because I had a close ally that got to the end with me who lost because of me, and it was just like, and I knew how much it meant to them. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
I think the hard part with the mole is if you go into the game and you know people ahead of time. It was probably the hardest for me to lie to Josh and Noah, because I felt like as much as I'm rooting for my friends, I'm now having to tell my friend, hey, it's not me, knowing that that's in the end going to make them lose the game.
And I think that was something
out.
I felt very lucky that I really came in not knowing people, that didn't like change my judgment based off who I know. And like I also felt I was lucky that people didn't really know my Victory House game, because like there wasn't like well, he can't be the mole because he was a mole in another series. Like I didn't feel like that haunted me in the game, because I guess 3.5 years is long enough that people like aren't going and binging old moles seasons. Thank goodness. So I was grateful for that, because I was worried that people were going to like bias against me being the mole due to having done that game. So yeah, it is.
Guys?
2 hours 46 minutes.
You beat Luke, so Emily is the bronze medalist, even though she tried an hour and a half ago to be the silver.
Any last questions or thoughts?
But Emily, it's not my fault. Steven and Tim were both on this podcast, because I have some more questions, and I know that people want to go to bed. But like Tim, what were your favorite moments of the season? What are you looking forward to tell us about next season?
My favorite moments from this past season, obviously Crinkle Crunkle. That was amazing. But also I think like seeing how well like especially like the panorama challenge, like how that actually it worked, like that which again was not like an original idea of mine, but like that it actually panned out, if pun intended. Yeah.
Panoramic.
Yeah. That was really cool. And also just seeing like the fact that the game was chaotic and ever changing was a treat as well. In terms of things to look forward to for next season, well, I still gotta like come up with the challenges after this, but but we can look forward to being on I think it's 27 acre like
whoa, that sounds like a scavenger hunt challenge for those of you interested in playing.
Yeah, see,
Look,
put two and two together.
But watch out for my cameo, guys, because best believe, even if Tim doesn't ask for one, I'm sending a cameo.
Oh, I will ask for one. Absolutely.
So bigger
Yeah.
land, bigger house, bigger cast.
I don't think it'll be a bigger cast.
12's a good number.
12 is 12 or maybe 10 or 11. Yeah.
And
It
do
won't
you
be
need
more
a
than
lot
12.
more applicants, or has the applicant pool been pretty good?
I need a lot more applicants. Please apply. Please apply.
Women, please.
Women especially, and people over the age of 40.
Mhm.
How dare you, Tim?
But
How
45,
dare
sorry,
you?
45, over the age of 45.
There you go.
Steven, you can apply
12
again.
and under is, 12 is the
Brian, that
the
is
max.
really bad out of context.
That's why I put it up.
Number of players, great number of players, yes.
Look,
I don't know
guys,
why you even highlighted that. Holy crap, Steven. People
Guys,
are like,
Tim needs about
6'7".
Tim, do you need about maybe 6 or 7 more applications?
Emily, I'm about to 6'7" my way to
6'7".
Texas right now if you use that again.
Gosh, don't do that.
Oh, by the way, fun tidbit. My kids do not laugh at 69 anymore. So if I say 69 or 69, nothing.
I
But
had
6'7".
I had students today laugh at 69 and I was like, yes.
Well,
okay.
good, because it's going
if any
away.
of them are watching this.
Yeah,
I mean, I
shout
had
out-
college students snickering when I said
Shout out
chapter
to students
6
that
and
find
7,
69
really?
funny.
Yep, 6, 7.
So this has been Live Reality Games Podcast. Again, I am your host, Luke. And I'm joined here with my co-hosts, Tim and Emily. And join us next week when we talk to who, Steven?
I own Erin with an a Real Foot interview. And so I'm going to set up an interview about his Real Foot experience from a couple years ago. It is well overdue. And so now that I feel like we've mined out all Mole Ohio content, I think I owe something.
No, I feel like there's more. So if you want to hear the behind the
always
scenes of the
more.
behind the scenes, what did Steven and Luke really talk about at 2 a.m.?
The
Speaking
real
of
lives of Mole
It's about to
players.
be 2 a.m. soon somewhere, guys. So, to the viewers, goodbye, good night, and to Steven specifically, go home.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Rooting for
Oh,
you.
God,
Hope you win
Steven,
tomorrow.
you're still at